Chapter 25, Kill. Provincial number 1 scorer predestined. He went berserk right from the start. It seems he really can't wait to kill me, Xu Jingming exclaimed in surprise. Rare and high-tier ferocious beasts often possess skills similar to human combat technique, and berserk is one of the more common skills mastered by ferocious beasts. According to research, during the berserk state, the beast's limited intelligence is completely extinguished, transforming it into a killing machine that acts solely on instinct. Conversely, in the berserk state, the beast's physical strength is greatly enhanced. Normally, ferocious beasts only activate berserk when fighting for their lives. But this bloodthirsty bear went berserk right at the start of the battle. Clearly, it was infuriated by Xu Jingming's dog-walking behavior earlier. But I'm not an idiot. Whether you're berserk or not, I won't clash head-on with you. Xu Jingming's original blood energy was as high as 180 points, and with the boost from cell activation, it surged even further, giving him astonishing strength. However, even with that, he had no intention of confronting the bloodthirsty bear head-on. He was only 1.86 meters tall, and the bloodthirsty bear was already over 6 meters tall. Fighting it in a strength contest would be suicidal, wouldn't it? The best approach is still to rely on agility. With a flash, Xu Jingming's figure, spear in hand, blurred and vanished from his spot. The bloodthirsty bear instinctively sensed something was wrong. Before it could react, it felt a sharp pain in its leg. Slash! A massive, incredibly sharp wound, crackling with purple lightning, suddenly burst open on the bloodthirsty bear's left leg. Puffed! Crimson blood spurted out from the leg artery like a geyser. Roar! In pain, the bloodthirsty bear slammed its massive fist towards the tiny human figure at its feet. Compared to the bloodthirsty bear's height of over 6 meters, the mere 1.86-meter-tall Xu Jingming was clearly much more agile. Additionally, purple firmament divine lightning continuously stimulated all his cells, providing him with an endless supply of power. Under these circumstances, Xu Jingming's agility was terrifying. Therefore, before the bloodthirsty bear's fist could land, Xu Jingming's figure had already dodged to its right leg. Compared to purple firmament divine lightning, the sharp black obsidian spear was clearly more capable of piercing defenses. So Xu Jingming repeated the tactic, slashing his spear and leaving a long wound on the bloodthirsty bear's right leg. At this point, the clumsy bloodthirsty bear hadn't even managed to track his figure. Roar! The excruciating pain from the wounds on its legs sent the bloodthirsty bear into a frenzy. It swung its bare paws, attacking indiscriminately. However, Xu Jingming had already dodged to the side. Rumble! The maddened bloodthirsty bear was like a violent demolition machine, smashing many beast corpses on the surrounding ground into pulp. It was at this moment that Xu Jingming pushed purple firmament divine lightning to its limit. Countless purple bolts of lightning shot out from his body, striking the bloodthirsty bear. The bloodthirsty bear's speed was already inferior to Xu Jingming's, and now, with injured legs, its speed was even worse than before. Although the bloodthirsty bear lost all intelligence in its berserk state, its basic instincts still understood that the lightning couldn't inflict fatal damage. So it simply hunkered down in place, adopting a defensive posture. Sizzle. Rumble. And so, purple firmament divine lightning bombarded it for about half a minute. The bloodthirsty bear's grayish-white fur was scorched black from the bombardment. That should be enough. Xu Jingming's figure flickered, appearing less than 3 meters in front of the bloodthirsty bear. 3 meters for the bloodthirsty bear meant it only needed to take a small step forward to attack. However, just as it moved its legs, intending to unleash its rage upon the tiny human in front of it, it was astonished to find that its legs seemed to have vanished, completely unresponsive. What terrified it even more was that its arms felt incredibly heavy and it couldn't lift them again. You took half a minute of my purple firmament divine lightning. Did you really think nothing would happen? Xu Jingming shook his head. Although the bloodthirsty bear's fur had strong defenses, the black obsidian spear had already breached its defenses at its legs. During the half-minute bombardment, although a lot of lightning was blocked, a significant amount of lightning still entered the bloodthirsty bear's body through the wounds, paralyzing its nerves. And this was the effect Xu Jingming wanted. Unable to move, you're a living target now. Xu Jingming, spear in hand, began his counterattack. The 50-kilogram black obsidian spear was swung, its lightning-wrapped tip striking continuously. Puffed, puffed, enveloped in purple lightning and the ancient elemental aura of purple firmament divine lightning. Xu Jingming at this moment seemed like a deity. The long spear became a blur. In just 3 or 4 seconds, it left dozens of bowl-sized wounds on the bloodthirsty bear's body. Inside the wounds, countless bolts of lightning still flickered, causing secondary damage. If it were an ordinary ferocious beast, it would undoubtedly be dead beyond dead. But for the 6-meter-tall, thick-skinned, and heavily muscled second-tier bloodthirsty bear, these wounds were merely minor injuries. It was at this moment that the bloodthirsty bear suddenly found its arms had regained sensation, just as a ferocious grin spread across its massive bare face, ready to counterattack. The human in front of it leaped up, level with its chest, his cold, clear eyes filled with extreme calm. At the same time, a low and majestic voice rang in its ears, lightning gale break. Accompanied by a rumbling thunder, the black long spear unleashed a terrifying surge of lightning energy. It instinctively tried to raise its arms to block, but it was already too late. And so, with a boom, the wounded bloodthirsty bear suffered its most devastating blow. Violent purple lightning erupted from its chest, and the immense impact sent it flying backward like a cannonball. Rumble! After smashing through the broken flower bed in the center and carving a trench over 10 meters long in the ground, it finally came to a stop. A chart hole was visible on its left chest. Its heart, which had been there, was now obliterated, leaving only residual purple lightning swirling within. The bloodthirsty bear could feel its strength rapidly draining, its consciousness gradually blurring. It instinctively tried to get up, swaying as it stood. Before it could take its first step, it collapsed to the ground with a thud. This terrifying, ferocious beast, capable of destroying a small town, completely lost its life force at this moment. Ding killed a second-tier low-grade, bloodthirsty bear, ability points plus 24. Listening to the system prompt, Xu Jingming, standing with a spear, also let out a sigh of relief. It's finally over. That battle, just now, pushed his current strength almost to its limit. Although the battle lasted less than 2 minutes, the immense intensity and constant mental tension were almost too much even for his 180 points of blood energy and mental strength. Thankfully, the final result was good. Of course, even if that combo couldn't kill the opponent, Xu Jingming had a backup plan. That was to use more ability points to increase his basic attributes. It could be said that the more than 2,000 ability points lying on his system panel had sealed the bloodthirsty bear's fate from the very beginning. Xu Jingming exited the cell activation state. The lightning in his eyes disappeared, and the purple firmament divine lightning swirling around his body was also retracted. Without the boost of purple firmament divine lightning, Xu Jingming suddenly felt a wave of weakness. However, he knew this weakness was an illusion of fading power. In reality, he had merely returned to his strength before cell activation. After killing all the ferocious beasts in the core area, I wonder how many points I have. Xu Jingming opened his smartwatch to check his score. First place, Xu Jingming, 10,835 points, Jiangqing Second High School. Second place, Zhou Mingyang, 1103 points, Jiangcheng First High School. Third place, Wu Hao, 945 points, Jiangcheng First High School. Over 10,000 points. Although he had some premonition, Xu Jingming was still shocked by this score. After the shock, a happy smile immediately appeared on his face. Sure enough, the ferocious beasts in the core area yield the most points. I remember last year the highest score in our Jiangnan province was only around 8,000 points, right? Does that mean I've already secured the provincial champion title? Chapter 26 ends. A new future. Killing a first-order high-level fierce beast gives 100 points. Killing a second-order fierce beast can earn 4,000 points. In the innermost core area, a total of 34 first-order top-level fierce beasts and 1 second-order low-level bloodthirsty bear were all killed by Xu Jingming. He obtained a total of 7,400 points. Adding Xu Jingming's original 3,000 plus points, it's not surprising that he accumulated over 10,000 points. However, on the leaderboard, his score, which was almost 10 times that of the second-place holder, seemed extremely exaggerated. The martial arts college entrance exam won't end for over an hour, and I've killed all the fierce beasts in the core and innermost core areas. Next, I'll return to the central area and kill as many as I can. Glancing at the bloodthirsty bear, which had lost its life aura in the distance, Xu Jingming did not stop there. He slung the black obsidian spear, which was almost scrap, onto his back and set off again towards the central area. Meanwhile, Zhou Mingyang and the others on the rooftop were still in awe of Xu Jingming's performance. The bloodthirsty bear, just like that, it's dead. Zhou Mingyang swallowed with difficulty. From the start of the battle until the bloodthirsty bear was impaled and killed, less than 2 minutes had passed. One must know that even an elite ability user would need to contend with such a tenacious, second-order, fierce beast for over half an hour to kill it. Terrifying, simply terrifying. The bald young man looked at the score on his smartwatch with a shocked expression. Xu Jingming's score has already surpassed 10,000 points. Over 10,000 points? Zhou Mingyang's eyes widened, and he subconsciously said, I remember that last year. Our Jiangnan province provincial champion only had around 8,000 points, right? With Xu Jingming's 10,000 plus points, could he be our Jiangnan province's provincial champion? Provincial champion? Good heavens, is he really that terrifying? A few people nearby immediately gasped. At this moment, Mengdi's voice suddenly rang out. Look, Xu Jingming is leaving. Judging by the direction he's heading, it looks like he's going to the central area. The central area? As expected of a provincial champion candidate. Even after killing a second-order fierce beast, he isn't slacking off and is rushing to the central area. The bald young man clicked his tongue in wonder. Zhou Mingyang also came back to his senses at this point and slapped his thigh. Oh no, I don't know if Xu Jingming will be the provincial champion, but I do know that if we don't hurry to the central area, we might not even get a single point in the last hour. That's right. Holy crap, with Xu Jingming's speed, he won't kill all the fierce beasts in the central area, will he? Quick, let's go. Haha, in that case, Zhou Mingyang will take my leave first. The few of them immediately reacted, not daring to ponder further, and quickly rushed downstairs with their weapons. And Zhou Mingyang, who no longer needed teammates and was wielding his wind element ability, was the fastest one. On the open ground outside the examination hall. While many principals and teachers were shocked by the terrifying power of Xu Jingming's ability, they all watched Xu Jingming's actions with tension. The second-order bloodthirsty bear was an existence that even they, at the peak of their strength as principals, would have to avoid. At this moment, this terrifying fierce beast was being played with like a toy in Xu Jingming's hands. He easily dodged the bear's leap attack, crippling the bloodthirsty bear's legs with 2 spear thrusts. His lightning element ability continuously bombarded it, causing it to enter a paralyzed state, unable to move. His long spear attacked furiously, instantly heavily injuring the bloodthirsty bear. The final blow, a spear-type lightning technique, pierced its heart, completing the kill. This series of operations was smooth and fluid, so much so that when the bloodthirsty bear crashed to the ground, the entire venue fell into a deathly silence. No one expected that even the second-order bloodthirsty bear, which even the prodigies of the provincial capital would find troublesome, would die like this. It wasn't until the ranking list refreshed and Xu Jingming's score reached 10,000 points that the director and many principals and teachers finally reacted. 10,000 points. A new record. A new record. At this moment, a teacher from second high school shouted excitedly. Reminded by this voice, the many principals and teachers in the audience finally reacted, erupting in incredibly boisterous exclamations of shock. 10,000 points. He has not only broken a record for our Jiangsheng, but also the record for Jiangnan province. A genius. Absolutely a genius. Heaven bless Jiangsheng. This year's provincial champion will be ours. At this moment, the principals and teachers of the 3 high schools were all cheering without regard for their image. If before, because Xu Jingming was a student of second high school, the other 2 high schools might have held some reservations. But now it was completely different. Xu Jingming, who was very likely to become the provincial champion, now represented not only second high school, but also the entire city of Jiangsheng. Well done. Principal Zhao Yao also couldn't help but stand up, excitedly pumping his fist. He, who was always composed, didn't know how many times he had lost his composure. However, in the face of this huge surprise, whether he was losing his composure or not no longer mattered. This score could be considered a preliminary selection for the provincial champion. At worst, he would be in the top 3 of Jiangnan province. One must know that in the more than 100 years since Jiangsheng's second high school was founded, its best performance was only ranking 64th in Jiangnan province. And now, he had accomplished what no previous principal had managed to do. How could he not feel excited and honored? Oh dear, why wasn't such an excellent student assigned to our rocket class back then? In the second high school audience, the rocket class homeroom teacher was both excited and incredibly regretful. If Xu Jingming had been their class back then, how glorious would he be now? Good. Xu Jingming, well done. His own student might challenge for the provincial champion title. The homeroom teacher of Class 5, Chun Fan, felt as if he was dreaming when he thought of this. It felt unreal. But the pain from pinching himself told him that everything was real. This made him extremely excited. Holy crap, Class 5 has such a character. He's too fierce. Didn't expect it, did you? I didn't either. 10,000 points. I only have 102 points. That's a 100-fold difference. In the later stages of the martial arts college entrance exam, many candidates who had activated their safety spheres and were eliminated early also returned to the open ground. At this moment, seeing Xu Jingming's terrifying score, they couldn't help but fall into extreme shock. 10,000 points. Senior has done it. He's too powerful. With this score, he can easily get into even the top ability user universities, right? Haha, more than that. Now, those top universities will be begging Senior to enroll. I declare that from today onwards, Senior Xu Jingming is my idol. On the second high school playground, the first-year, second-year students and teachers also erupted. Most students regarded Xu Jingming as an idol and a role model, their little faces flushed with excitement. An hour quickly passed, and the time soon arrived at 9 o'clock sharp. At this moment, students still within the ruined town examination hall automatically had a red warning interface pop up on their smartwatches. At the same time, a smart voice immediately sounded. Attention! The Jiangxing 2037th Martial Arts College entrance exam has ended. Killing fierce beasts will no longer count toward scores. Candidates, please return as soon as possible. Attention! The Jiangxing 2037th Martial Arts College entrance exam has ended. Killing fierce beasts will no longer count toward scores. Candidates, please return as soon as possible. The announcement sounded 3 times before ending. Inside the examination hall, all candidates who received the notification, some with emotion, some with regret, began to return with various feelings. The Martial Arts College entrance exam, it's over. Xu Jingming pulled his long spear from the corpse of fierce beast, also feeling a bit regretful. What a pity, there won't be another opportunity like this to harvest ability points so freely. Subsequently, Xu Jingming, carrying his long spear, strode towards the return direction. With the Martial Arts College entrance exam over, a brand new future awaited him. Chapter 27. An Unparalleled Welcome. The 3 top universities. First place, Xu Jingming, 11,124 points, Jiangxing number 2 High School. Second place, Zhou Mingyang, 1,233 points, First High School. Third place, Wu Hao, 1,045 points, First High School. As the clock struck 9, the rankings and scores for the Martial Arts College entrance exam were finalized. Xu Jingming sat firmly in first place with a score nearly 10 times higher than the runner-up. The original favorite to win, Zhou Mingyang, only managed to secure second place. With the conclusion of the Martial Arts College entrance exam, examinees began emerging from the ruined town one after another. Besides discussing their encounters during the exam, the main topic of their conversation revolved around Xu Jingming. Over 10,000 points. That's just too fierce. I'm in the same class as Xu Jingming. If I told you he only has an E-rank ability, would you believe me? E-rank ability? Who are you trying to fool? How could an E-rank ability crush B-rank ability holder Zhou Mingyang with 10 times the score? It was worth mentioning that whenever students from Xu Jingming's class told others that he only had an E-rank ability, the response they received was invariably disbelief. Time passed slowly, and most students had returned to the open clearing. Only a few students who had ventured deeper into the ruined town had yet to emerge. Naturally, this included Xu Jingming. However, the students who had already finished the exam did not immediately board the buses to leave. Instead, they waited on the spot. They wanted to see exactly what kind of person this powerhouse, who had racked up over 10,000 points, really was. While waiting, they inevitably began to speculate about Xu Jingming's final ranking. Last year, the highest score in our Jiangnan province was only over 8,000. With over 10,000 points, he's definitely the provincial top scholar. It's hard to say. Who knows if another freak like Xu Jingming will pop up in other cities. True, but regardless, he's definitely in the top 3 of Jiangnan province. Top 3 in Jiangnan province. That really brings honor to our entire Jiangxing. Yeah, our Jiangxing has finally produced a true genius. Jiangxing's economic development ranked near the bottom among the dozens of prefecture-level cities in Jiangnan province. In the national event that was the Martial Arts College entrance exam, it had also remained invisible for years. Every year, when the provincial rankings were released, one would usually have to look past the 100th place to find an examinee from Jiangxing. But this year was completely different. Xu Jingming, with his massive score of over 10,000, was qualified to contend for the title of provincial top scholar. Even if he failed to take the top spot, he would still be in the top 3 of the province. When that time came, the entire Jiangxing would become famous because of Xu Jingming. Precisely because of this, the excited director of the Education Bureau, Zhang Wanshan, along with various school principals and teachers, had already left the spectator stands and were standing at the exit of the exam grounds, waiting for Xu Jingming's arrival. In the clearing, many examinees were also excited and proud. Some students from Class 5 at number 2 high school even began to boast about how close their relationship with Xu Jingming had been. In particular, Lu Jia, who had always been on good terms with Xu Jingming, was practically over the moon with pride. Chi-Chi, is this Xu Jingming really your cousin? Among the crowd of students from First High School, Xiaoya, who had previously lost interest in Xu Jingming at the Thunder Dojo, asked Tang Chi with her beautiful eyes sparkling. My goodness, you've already asked me 3 times. Xu Jingming's cousin, Tang Qi, rolled her eyes. While I'm not 100% certain, it's highly likely it's him. All right, I believe you. Xiaoya nodded, then grabbed Tang Qi's arm, shaking it coquettishly. My dear best friend, could you give me your cousin's contact information? Please. Why do you want his contact info now? Didn't you lose interest yesterday? Seeing Xiaoya's pleading look, Tang Qi couldn't help but tease her. Times have changed. Yesterday, he was just an E-rank awakener. Today, he is our Jiangqing's #1. A different status naturally commands a different treatment. Hearing Xiaoya's matter-of-fact tone, Tang Qi was momentarily speechless. She had changed her tune way too fast. Just as she was about to speak, a loud shout rang out. Xu Jingming is coming out of the exam grounds. At that shout, the entire clearing fell into a solemn silence. Including Tang Qi and Xiaoya, everyone instinctively turned their heads toward the exit of the ruined town. A tall figure emerged from the dimly lit ruined town. It was indeed Xu Jingming. He was wearing a blood-stained black combat suit, his expression calm and composed, with a black spear over 2 meters long strapped to his back. This spear, battered to the point of being nearly scrapped, seemed to tell the story of the fierce battles he had experienced along the way. Xu Jingming, welcome back. Standing nearby, Zhang Wanshan, the director of the Education Bureau, took the lead and gave a most enthusiastic round of applause. Subsequently, the school principals and teachers joined in one after another. However, compared to the welcome from the director and principals, the students' welcome was far more rowdy. Xu Jingming, congratulations. Our batch of examinees shines because of you. As fellow examinees, if there were only a gap of 100 or 200 points, they might still be indignant, feeling that their strengths weren't that different. But a gap of over 10,000 points was a total crushing in every aspect. Furthermore, from now on, Xu Jingming did not just represent himself. He represented all of Jiangqing. Thus, the examinees were not at all stingy with their cheers and applause. Some of the bolder girls even began to profess their love on the spot. Faced with this scene, with his ears buzzing and unable to clearly hear what anyone was saying, Xu Jingming was a bit dazed. He had never expected such a grand welcome after the college entrance exam. So dazzling. Not far behind him, Zhou Mingyang, who had also just emerged from the exam grounds, looked at the scene with some envy. But he also knew that even if he were in first place, he wouldn't receive so many cheers. After all, he couldn't have racked up over 10,000 points. All examinees, prepare to board the buses. The buses will take you to the city area, and once there, the cheering lasted for over a minute before gradually dying down, and Commander Wang began to arrange the withdrawal. As for Xu Jingming, he was directly arranged by his principal to take a private car home. This left the students of Class 5, who had originally wanted to ride the same bus as him, extremely disappointed. Xu Jingming, have you thought about which ability school you want to go to? The scenery outside the window receded rapidly. Xu Jingming sat in the back seat of the sedan, while the one driving was Zhao Yao, the principal of Jiangqing #2 High School. Usually, the principal had a dedicated driver when he went out. Now, not only was he acting as the driver himself, but he was also full of smiles, without the slightest hint of dissatisfaction. No, Xu Jingming shook his head. He was telling the truth. Since transmigrating, all he had thought about was improving his strength as quickly as possible to score higher on the exam. He hadn't yet considered which ability university to attend. With your results, you could get into any university in the country. Principal Zhao Yao looked even more excited than Xu Jingming, including the 3 top ability universities. By the way, you know about these 3 universities, right? Xu Jingming nodded. The Great Xian Nation had a strong martial culture. Not only was the martial arts college entrance exam broadcast to the public, but even the thousands of ability universities across the country organized a university league every year to determine each institution's ranking. Among these thousands of ability universities, 3 had consistently occupied the top 3 spots in the league for years. They were Qingjing Ability University, Magic City Ability University, and Jincheng Ability University. These 3 universities were all institutions with a history of over 200 years. They possessed abundant educational resources, and the instructors within the schools were at least rank 6 ability users. These 3 universities stood above the thousands of others nationwide and were known as the 3 top universities. They were the dream campus holy lands for countless college entrance exam students. Chapter 28, 10,000 points. The dumbfounded ant. The 3 top universities, they're the highest goals countless students yearn for. Principal Zhao Yao said with emotion. But for you, they are within easy reach. No, that's not right. They might even beg you to attend. Beg me to attend? Xu Jingming tilted his head, his expression puzzled. With your scores, you already qualify for special recruitment. Once the national rankings are announced, the top 10 universities across the nation will offer various conditions to entice you to study at their schools. What else could that be but begging you to attend? Principal Zhao Yao burst into laughter. Special recruitment was a privilege only granted to the top 3 in the entire province, and Xu Jingming was clearly among them. I suggest you go back and learn more about the 3 top universities. You shouldn't wait until the day of special recruitment without any idea. Also, don't be dazzled by the special recruitment conditions offered by those schools. The most important thing is to choose the school you feel is suitable. Of course, entering any of the 3 top universities guarantees a boundless future. Principal Zhao Yao directly excluded the other 7 universities from the top 10 and earnestly advised him. Understand? Thank you, Principal. Xu Jingming nodded, indicating his understanding. The martial arts college entrance exam was over. Now, it was time to seriously consider which school to attend. It took over an hour to drive from a military district to the city. By the time Xu Jingming returned home, it was already 11:23 p.m. Too exhausted to even wash up, he simply took off his battle suit, which reeked of blood. He collapsed onto the bed and fell into a deep sleep. He didn't wake up until past 9 o'clock the next morning. Phew, I actually slept for over 10 hours straight. Glancing at the time on his phone, Xu Jingming leaped out of bed and darted into the bathroom. Whoosh! Warm water flowed from the showerhead, washing over Xu Jingming's naked body. Comfortable. After 12 hours of combat, Xu Jingming had sweated a lot, and his whole body felt sticky. Now, as the warm water rinsed his body, he immediately felt refreshed and then opened his system panel. Name, Xu Jingming. Level, Awakener. Ability, Violet Heaven Divine Lightningness. Physique, 183 blood energy, plus. Spirit, 185 Hz, plus. Skills, Spearmanship, Advanced plus. Lightning Galebreak, Advanced plus. Ability points, 2534. Besides his scores, the biggest gain from the martial arts college entrance exam was ability points. 2,534 ability points. That should be enough for me for a while after I enter an ability university. Xu Jingming thought silently. The importance of ability points was unquestionable. In an ordinary wilderness area, it would be impossible to obtain so many ability points in a short time. This time, it was also thanks to the martial arts college entrance exam. I wonder if there will be similar beast-killing competitions once I enter an ability university. If so, I'll definitely be the first to participate. Xu Jingming was in a cheerful mood. After humming a little tune and finishing his shower, he returned to his bedroom, opened his computer, and searched for information on the 3 top universities. The 3 top universities had all been established for several centuries, making them prestigious schools with a long history, having cultivated many powerhouses for the great Xia nation. Therefore, as he reviewed the information, Xu Jingming occasionally let out exclamations of surprise. The current 9th-rank nation suppressor actually graduated from Qingjing Ability University. Most top-tier ability cultivation techniques are actually exclusive to top universities. He didn't know until he checked, and checking shocked him. Almost half of the high-level ability users currently famous nationwide actually came from the 3 top universities. Half. This was an incredibly terrifying proportion. After all, there are thousands of ability universities nationwide. Additionally, many people originally studied at foreign ability universities and only returned to the country after graduation. Yet, the total number of powerhouses cultivated by all these domestic and foreign schools combined was only on par with those from the 3 top universities. This was enough to demonstrate the profound heritage of the 3 top universities. Furthermore, the most important point was the ability cultivation techniques. As the foundation for ability users to advance, ability cultivation techniques also varied in quality, and their cultivation speed differed immensely. For example, using the worst elementary ability cultivation technique for cultivation, most awakeners would take 3 to 4 years to advance to ability users. However, if one used a top-tier ability cultivation technique for cultivation, it would only take less than half a year to advance. And according to the information Xu Jingming found, most of the great Xia nation's top-tier ability cultivation techniques were actually stored in the libraries of the 3 top universities. No wonder there are rumors online that the 3 top universities are domineering academic tyrants who refuse to publish their cultivation methods and secret manuals. Xu Jingming suddenly understood, but he didn't pay too much attention to it. How precious were top-tier ability cultivation techniques? Attempting to use public opinion to coerce universities into sharing top-tier cultivation methods seemed highly unlikely. Ding dong. Just as he was about to continue researching, the doorbell rang outside. Coming to see me so early, could it be Auntie? With a puzzled expression, Xu Jingming got up, walked out of his bedroom, and opened the door. Standing at the doorway were 2 beautiful women, one older and one younger. The older one was in her 30s, dressed in luxurious clothes with delicate features. The younger one was about the same age as Xu Jingming, tall and slender, with a face 7 or 8 parts similar to the older beauty, but with a colder demeanor. These two were indeed his aunt Xu Qingwan and cousin Tang Qi. Auntie, cousin. Xu Jingming greeted them with a smile and led them into the living room. However, it was awkward because, due to his ability evolution the night before, his entire living room looked as if it had been scorched by a great fire. Not only were the floor and walls blackened, but the sofa, coffee table, and other furniture in the living room had also been burned to ashes. In a large living room, there wasn't even a place to sit. Xiaoming, was your house on fire? Aunt Xu Qingwan immediately panicked at the sight, quickly pulling Xu Jingming to examine him carefully. When did this happen? Are you hurt? Just a small accident. Nothing serious. Looking at his worried aunt, Xu Jingming's expression softened. After his parents passed away, only his aunt gave him the warmth of family. It's good that you're fine. It's good that you're fine. Aunt Xu Qingwan breathed a sigh of relief, then said, I came here mainly to ask about your martial arts college entrance exam results yesterday. Sister Qi didn't tell you? Xu Jingming was a little surprised. I thought it would be better for you to tell my mom personally, so I didn't say anything. Cousin Tang Qi smiled slyly. So that's how it is. Xu Jingming nodded. Then let's go downstairs and find a place to sit and talk. Xu Jingming led the two downstairs to a coffee shop called Morning Light Cafe next to their residential area, a place he often frequented. It was around 10 in the morning, and the coffee shop wasn't very crowded. Xu Jingming found a window seat and ordered 3 steaming hot coffees. Morning Light Cafe didn't sell high-end hand-ground coffee. So, after a short while, 3 steaming coffees were brought to the table by the waiter. Please enjoy 3 guests. The waiter left with a gentle smile. Can we finally reveal the mystery now? Aunt Xu Qingwan held her coffee cup, smiling. Your sister made it so mysterious. Wasn't she just afraid I'd beat you like when you were a kid? Don't worry, think about it. Since you started high school, when have I ever beaten you? Even when you wanted to participate in the martial arts college entrance exam. Didn't I still agree? Even if your score is really bad this time, I won't beat you. Listening to Aunt Xu Qingwan's words, Xu Jingming couldn't help but awkwardly rub his nose. His aunt was a typical Jiangnan woman, gentle and graceful, but this was only true when there were no final exams. And once his final exam scores dropped, he would be greeted with a painful bamboo shoot fried pork, a metaphor for a beating. And he couldn't resist. After all, he was only 11 years old when his parents passed away, and his aunt was his officially appointed legal guardian. Mom, don't worry, cousin won't disappoint you this time. Seeing her mother misunderstand her intentions, Tang Qi quickly explained. Oh, is that so? So Xiaoming, you did quite well this time? What was your score? Did you get 100? Aunt Xu Qingwan's eyes lit up, and she quickly pressed for details. 100 points was the nationally recognized minimum admission score. Exceeding 100 points meant there was hope of attending an ability university. I got 100 points. Xu Jingming smiled and nodded. And much more than 100 points, it's 10,000 points. 10,000 points? This score was too shocking. Aunt Xu Qingwan's beautiful eyes widened, and she instantly froze on the spot, unable to react. Chapter 29. The Admissions Office of Demon University. The teachers were stunned on the spot. Aunt Xu Qingwan knew a lot about the martial arts college entrance exam because of elder cousin Tang Qi. She knew that in previous years, the highest score in Jiangcheng was only a little over 1,000 points. Even the provincial champion of the entire Jiangnan province only scored 8 or 9,000 points. Therefore, when Aunt Xu Qingwan heard Xu Jingming say he scored 10,000 points, she was momentarily stunned. But she quickly reacted, instinctively choosing not to believe him, and frowned, saying, Jingming, don't joke around. Tell me your real score. Mom, Jingming isn't joking. He really did score 10,000 points. No, that's not right. To be precise, it should be 11,124 points. It's already been reported on Jiangcheng's official news account. Elder cousin Tang Qi smiled and handed over her phone. On the phone was a report that had just been published by Jiangcheng's official account. The title was 10,000 points, an absolute dark horse from Jiangcheng Second High School. The article's accompanying image showed Xu Jingming wielding a spear, killing a second-tier bloodthirsty bear. It's Jingming. Aunt Xu Qingwan recognized Xu Jingming from the accompanying image and quickly scanned the article. Xu Qingwan had a gentle personality, and ordinary things wouldn't cause much emotional fluctuation in her. But as she read the article, her eyes grew brighter and brighter. A flush of excitement slowly appeared on her beautiful face. 10,000 points. First in Jiangcheng. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Xu Qingwan was as if she had won a multi-million-dollar lottery. And the article on her phone was like that winning lottery ticket, which she repeatedly checked. She even murmured softly things like Jingming has finally made something of himself, and now our Su family has an heir. After a good while, her emotions gradually returned to normal. Jingming, with your score, on the day you fill out your college applications, won't you be able to directly choose from the national top 10 universities? Aunt Su Qingwan asked with shining eyes. The principal told me yesterday that I already have a special recruitment qualification, so I don't need to fill out applications. I just need to wait for those universities to make offers. Xu Jingming explained with a smile, and elder cousin Tang Qi chimed in, Mom, with Jingming's score, he can be considered a strong contender for provincial champion. Even if he doesn't become the provincial champion, he'll definitely be in the top 3 of Jiangnan province. With that ranking, even the 3 top universities will be scrambling to specially recruit him. They won't make him go through the application process. 3 top universities? Special recruitment? Good. Jingming, you've really given your aunt a big surprise. Su Qingwan said good 3 times in a row, then asked somewhat impatiently, by the way, when is the martial arts college entrance exam ranking going to be announced? The time isn't fixed, but it should be no later than 5 days from now, Xu Jingming replied after a slight pause. The National Martial Arts College entrance exam results are released at the same time on the same day. Before that, each province will rigorously review the videos taken during the Martial Arts College entrance exam to prevent any cheating. This is a considerable workload, but the results will be announced no later than 5 days from now, which is before June 13th. All right, after the results are announced, Aunt Su Qingwan will treat you to a big meal. The smile on Su Qingwan's face was very bright, and after a pause, she asked the biggest question on her mind. But, Jingming, don't you only have an E-class ability? How could you get such a high score? Throughout history, the rarer the ability, the stronger the combat power. This was a universally acknowledged fact. Although there were also people who achieved strength by relying on low-level abilities. Such people were extremely rare. To say they were 1 in a million would not be an exaggeration. And according to the description she saw in the article, with thunder surging and a large number of first-tier high-level fierce beasts dying or being injured, this simply couldn't be the power an E-class weak electricity ability could unleash. After all, Xu Jingming was merely an awakener, not even an ability user. Hearing Su Qingwan's question, elder cousin Tang Qi's beautiful eyes also looked over with anticipation, clearly very curious about this as well. Xu Jingming was prepared for this and explained with a smile. The day before yesterday afternoon, while I was exercising in the living room, a bolt of lightning suddenly struck outside the window, knocking me unconscious. When I woke up, I found that my original ability seemed to have undergone a transformation, becoming much stronger. So that's why you later went to Thunder Dojo to test your ability. Elder cousin Tang Qi suddenly understood, and Aunt Su Qingwan also nodded slightly. There was indeed a period of thunder the day before yesterday afternoon, but you weren't injured by the lightning. Instead, you turned misfortune into a blessing, and your ability mutated. That's quite lucky. Later, find some time to go to a martial hall for another ability test to see what level your ability has mutated to. According to the power described in the article, your ability should have at least transformed to B-class or above. Xu Jingming nodded at the words. Ability mutation, though rare, was not unheard of. Using this as an excuse for his ability's transformation was something he had thought of long ago. It just so happened that when his ability transformed the day before yesterday, lightning struck outside the window and inside the house, which most people also knew about. All right, no matter what, you 2 siblings, one ranked 12th in Jiangcheng and the other 1st in Jiangcheng, are both excellent. Let's go. We'll go to the market to buy some groceries, and I'll make you a delicious lunch. Su Qingwan's face was beaming with an uncontrollable smile. Seeing this, Xu Jingming also smiled slightly and walked alongside his aunt with elder cousin Tang Qi. June 11th, 9 in the evening. Magic City Ability University, Admissions Office. 3rd tier and 4th tier ability user, rarely seen elsewhere, now filled the entire office. They sat around a large round table, numbering no less than 30 to 40 people. These ability user looked somewhat anxious, as if waiting for something. A short while later, a slightly plump middle-aged man walked in quickly. He held up a mechanical disc in his hand. The National Martial Arts College entrance exam rankings are out. Everyone get ready. The National Martial Arts College entrance exam rankings were absolutely confidential before they were released. However, this was only for ordinary people. For top universities like theirs, getting the rankings a day in advance was not difficult. The rankings are finally out. This year's rankings seem to be a bit slow. Not much difference. Last year was only 1 day earlier than this year. The Magic City Ability University Admissions Office was busiest these few days of the year. They needed to formulate different special recruitment strategies based on the strength of the top 3 candidates in each province. For some students with strong abilities and great potential, more resources needed to be spent on recruitment. If some students were relatively weaker in ability and had less potential, then fewer resources could be spent appropriately. In fact, not only Magic City Ability University, but also the other two top universities, Qingjing Ability University and Jinsheng Ability University, did the same. As per usual, let's first look at the performance of each province's provincial champion. The middle-aged man in front inserted the mechanical disc into the projector that had already been set up. With a hum, a list displaying the scores and rankings of all candidates from over 30 provincial-level administrative regions across the Great Xia Nation was immediately projected. The first provincial-level administrative region, Qingjing City. As the middle-aged man's deep voice sounded, the projection in front of them seemed intelligent, directly displaying the candidate rankings for Qingjing City, the capital of the Great Xia Nation. Everyone looked straight at the top of the ranking list. First place, Zhou Yi, Qingjing Middle School, 9,343 points. Eva, display Zhou Yi's relevant information. As soon as the middle-aged man finished speaking, an ethereal electronic voice sounded, "Okay, director." Subsequently, a holographic projection appeared in the center of the round table. The image displayed was Zhou Yi's combat footage from the Martial Arts College entrance exam. Zhou Yi, 18 years old, ability user with the enhancement type A-class ability, bronze body, first tier high level. His father is a fourth tier ability user. Every top university possessed astonishing information gathering capabilities, and Magic City Ability University was no exception. While Zhou Yi's combat scenes were playing on the central holographic projection, his relevant information also echoed in the ears of every admissions officer. Bronze body? That's pretty good even among A-class abilities. Indeed, looking at the combat footage, his use of ability is also quite good. The teachers discussed animatedly. A short while later, the video on the holographic projection finished playing, and the middle-aged man in front said in a deep voice, "Zhou Yi is designated for an A-plus special recruitment slot. Teacher Wang Jian, I'll trouble you to make the trip." Understood. A teacher stood up and nodded. After the meeting, he would immediately set off for Qingjing City, the second provincial-level administrative region, Hunan Province. Time quickly passed, and the provincial champions of each province had their special recruitment levels determined through evaluation by the admissions director and various teachers. There were excellent A-plus levels, ordinary A levels, and also some poor A levels. Of course, to become a provincial champion, no matter how poor their strength, it wouldn't be that bad. Soon, it was Jiangnan Province's turn. The 13th provincial-level administrative region, Jiangnan Province. Along with the middle-aged man's deep voice, the ranking on the projection quickly switched to Jiangnan Province. Last year, Jiangnan Province produced an A-plus special recruitment slot. I wonder how it will be this year. It should also be an A-plus. Jiangnan Province was a populous province in the Great Xia Nation, and its provincial champions in previous years had always been very strong. So, all the teachers, including the admissions director, looked at the ranking at the top of the list. First place, Xu Jingming, Jiangcheng Second High School, 11,124 points. Over 10,000 points. Jiangnan Province is really pushing hard this year. Jiangcheng? Isn't that the provincial capital of Jiangnan Province? The many teachers were initially shocked by Xu Jingming's score, but upon discovering that he was from Jiangcheng Second High School, they all looked somewhat bewildered. Jiangcheng? Wasn't the provincial capital of Jiangnan Province Ning'an City? What on earth was Jiangcheng? Why had they never even heard of this city? Xu Jingming, 18 years old, ability user with a natural type E-class ability weak electricity, awakener level. His parents, 7 years ago, when Xu Jingming's information brief sounded in their ears, the already somewhat bewildered teachers present became even more confused. What the hell? E-class ability? Awakener? Can these two things be associated with a provincial champion? Chapter 30 results announced. Jiangnan Province's top scorer. In the decades prior, the provincial champion of Jiangnan Province typically hailed from Ning'an City, the provincial capital of Jiangnan Province, where they came from relatively affluent cities near Ning'an City. Of course, this was quite normal, as the saying goes, poor in academics, rich in martial arts. Those who could afford to live in these cities usually had considerable assets, and their descendants were often very strong. The eventual provincial champions, much like those from the capital Qingjing City, possessed A-class abilities and the strength of a first-order upper rank. But now, the provincial champion of Jiangnan Province not only didn't come from any of the cities familiar to the Magic City Ability University teachers in Jiangnan Province, but he also wasn't even an ability user, just an awakener, and his ability was merely an E-class ability, the second lowest rank. Who would believe that if it were told? Thus, when Xu Jingming's information echoed in the ears of many teachers, their first reaction was disbelief. An awakener can become the provincial champion? This must be a mistake, right? Is it possible that the information was collected incorrectly and it was attributed to someone with the same name? That's possible. Every candidate's score in the martial arts college entrance exam was professionally reviewed by the National Education Bureau. No one doubted the authenticity of the scores. They only suspected that the information might have been collected incorrectly and attributed to someone with a similar name. However, with Magic City Ability University's information gathering capabilities, it was impossible for them to make such a basic mistake of misidentifying someone. Eva's information is not wrong. Seemingly feeling questioned, an exceptionally cute light orb was holographically projected into the room, even showing a human-like expression of anger. It was Eva, the artificial intelligence responsible for managing all information collection at Magic City Ability University. Eva is a top-level artificial intelligence and wouldn't make such a basic mistake. Xu Jingming's information might have had an issue from the very beginning when it was first entered into the database. The slightly overweight, middle-aged man waved his hand. Won't everything be clear once we watch his martial arts college entrance exam video? Eva, open Xu Jingming's college entrance examination video. Okay, director. With the director's reassurance, the angry expression on Eva's light orb disappeared. At the same time, Xu Jingming's figure was also projected above the center of the round table. The scene began precisely with him entering the core area, facing numerous first-order upper-rank fierce beasts and second-order fierce beasts. Oh, he's using a spear as a weapon. That's quite rare. Watching the tall figure with the spear on his back, one teacher's eyes lit up. Among the previous dozen or so provincial champions, almost all of them used long swords or broadswords as weapons. Spear-type weapons were appearing for the first time. A spear is even more difficult to master than a sword or saber. Another teacher also nodded slightly. Although Xu Jingming's weapon caught the teacher's attention, they didn't forget their main objective: to determine Xu Jingming's ability and rank. The ability had not yet been displayed, so it couldn't be determined, but the rank was easy to ascertain. There was a fundamental difference between ability users and awakeners: their aura. Although Xu Jingming's aura in the video was sharp, it did not reveal any characteristics of an ability user to the admissions teachers present. So, Xu Jingming really is just an awakener. After repeated confirmation, all the teachers present were shocked. What did a provincial champion who was an awakener even mean? This had never happened in the past few decades. Immediately after, the battle in the holographic projection began. When Xu Jingming's purple firmament divine lightning erupted, killing numerous first-order upper-rank fierce beasts, it left many teachers dumbfounded. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. This is definitely not an E-class ability. This power is at least A-class. How could it be an E-class weak electricity ability? What were those guys who registered the abilities doing? How could they get this wrong? The experienced admissions teachers immediately noticed the abnormality in the power of Xu Jingming's ability. The director of the admissions office in front also narrowed his eyes and ordered, Eva, analyze Xu Jingming's ability rank. Abilities need to be tested with professional instruments to determine their rank and type. However, with an advanced artificial intelligence, it could also be analyzed with considerable accuracy. Xu Jingming's ability belongs to the Thunder-type ability under the natural system. Due to the inability to collect elemental information from the air, analyzing solely from the video footage, there is a 4% probability that Xu Jingming's ability is B-class, a 10% probability of being A-class, an 83% probability of being S-class, a 1% probability of being SS-class, and a 0% probability of being SSS-class. The artificial intelligence Eva quickly produced the analysis results, and the director of the admissions office, upon receiving the conclusion, suddenly constricted his pupils. The S-class probability is 83%. As an advanced artificial intelligence, Eva's judgment was almost never wrong. An 83% probability was almost enough to confirm that Xu Jingming's ability was S-class. S-class? All the teachers present also immediately started breathing heavily. What was the concept of S-class? Once he matured, he would be an absolute top-tier combatant. And in the current Great Xian Nation, an S-class ability awakener had not appeared for 3 or 4 years. At this moment, Xu Jingming in the holographic projection also ended the life of the second-order bloodthirsty bear with an incredibly violent strike of his spear. A suspected S-class ability, coupled with such powerful combat ability, Xu Jingming's provincial champion title is well-deserved. The director of the admissions office let out a long breath, pondered for a moment, and then said with a solemn expression, Xu Jingming is designated for an S+ class special recruitment slot. We must recruit him at all costs. S+ class special recruitment slot. It's been many years since we've used this level of special recruitment, hasn't it? For an S+ class special recruitment, It seems we'll have to offer something good. Director Zhang, I was the one who handled the special recruitment in Jiangnan province last year. How about I go again this time? Director, I also want to go for the special recruitment in Jiangnan. The S-plus class special recruitment slot, coupled with the almost certain S-class ability, immediately made Xu Jingming a hot commodity. Many teachers vied to be the one to go for this special recruitment trip to Jiangnan province. But Zhang Chuyang, the director of the admissions office, shook his head. None of you need to go. I'll go personally this time. With the director going personally, it's definitely secure now. Although the other teachers were a bit disappointed, as a fifth-order ability user with a mental ability, Director Zhang Chuyang, who had successfully recruited many students with boundless potential into Magic City Ability University, was indeed the most reliable choice for this trip. S-class ability, Xu Jingming, I hope you don't disappoint me. Looking at the tall figure in the holographic projection, Director Zhang Chuyang couldn't help but murmur in a low voice. June 12th, the fifth day after the martial arts college entrance exam ended. Jingming, don't worry. The results will be out today, at the latest. Principal, I know. I'm not in a hurry. Good. It's good that you're not in a hurry. I'm just afraid you young people are too anxious. Xu Jingming walked in the community, talked for a long time, and finally managed to hang up the phone call from the principal. Seriously, they all tell me not to rush, but in reality, they're more anxious than anyone. Xu Jingming couldn't help but shake his head. In the past few days waiting for the rankings to be announced, he had received calls more than once from his homeroom teacher, the principal, and even the director of the Education Bureau. The underlying message in all their conversations was for him not to worry, that the rankings would be announced sooner or later. However, their tone didn't suggest a lack of urgency. They even seemed to wish the results and rankings would be announced the day after the college entrance examination. Of course, Xu Jingming could also understand. After all, his Jiangqing needed an opportunity to prove itself too much. But it's already the fifth day. Shouldn't the results be out by now? Just as Xu Jingming was muttering to himself, a ding-dong sound, a text message notification, rang out. He took out his phone, unlocked the screen, and checked the message content. Jiangchang's second high school candidate, Xu Jingming, the Jiangnan Province Martial Arts College entrance exam rankings have been released. Please check them promptly. Below the message was a website link. The college entrance examination rankings are out. Xu Jingming's eyes lit up, and he immediately clicked on the link without hesitation. Instantly, a document densely filled with the scores and rankings of all candidates in the province appeared on his phone. Xu Jingming looked directly at the first line of the document. Jiangnan Province first place. Xu Jingming, Jiangcheng Second High School. Total score, 11,124 points. First place. Provincial champion of Jiangnan Province. I did it. At this moment, even the usually calm Xu Jingming couldn't help but show joy on his face, excitedly pumping his fist. Chapter 31. A province-wide sensation. The pride of Jiangcheng. June 12th was the last day for the National Martial Arts College entrance exam results and rankings to be announced, which meant that on this day, the results and rankings would definitely be made public. At the Education Bureau of Ning'an City, the provincial capital of Jiangnan Province, the director and a host of teachers were all waiting in front of computers for the announcement of the results and rankings. Even in this not-so-small office, a good number of cakes and champagne drinks had already been prepared. They were just waiting for the official announcement of the results to kick off a joyous celebration. Lei Zhou from Ning'an First High School performed well this year, scoring over 9,200 points. He should be the provincial champion. There's a high probability, but it's not certain. I heard there are a few talented students in the neighboring provinces too. That's true. It all depends on individual fortune. The teachers were all conversing and discussing. Lei Zhou from Ning'an First High School, possessing an A-class ability and first-tier high-level strength, was a popular candidate for the provincial champion. The results are out. Just then, the teacher who had been waiting in front of the computer all this time had his eyes light up and open the ranking list, but then he was slightly stunned. What's wrong? Sensing that something was amiss, the director of the Ning'an City Education Bureau frowned and leaned closer, only to find that the first place was an unfamiliar name. Jiangnan Province first place, Xu Jingming, Jiangcheng Second High School, total score, 11,124 points. What? The provincial champion is from Jiangcheng. The director's eyes widened, his face full of shock. Such a scene not only occurred in the Ning'an City Education Bureau, but also in the education bureaus of other prefecture-level cities in Jiangnan Province. However, compared to the shock of the various education bureaus, the news workers of Jiangnan Province all sprang into action. It should be known that Jiangnan Province is a populous province in the Great Xia Nation. It has 24 prefecture-level cities and nearly 34 county-level cities. Ning'an City, as the provincial capital, and several nearby prefecture-level cities are recognized as the most prosperous, where ability users gather the most, and where geniuses are most likely to emerge. However, Jiangcheng, located in the most remote northern part of Jiangnan province, is widely recognized as resource-poor and talent-scarce. In previous years, the provincial champion of Jiangnan province was always from Ning'an City or several nearby prefecture-level cities. But this year, it was completely different. The provincial champion actually came from an obscure Jiangcheng, a place most people in Jiangnan province didn't even know about. What did this mean? This meant traffic and a hot topic. Therefore, these news workers began frantically collecting information related to Xu Jingming. They didn't know until they investigated, and once they did, they were shocked. E-class ability, an awakener who had not yet advanced. These phrases stimulated their nerves. While marveling, their eyes also lit up. This was a natural hot topic. Thus, transforming into multi-limbed monsters, in just a few minutes, they edited out articles of over 1,000 words. An absolute dark horse. The provincial champion from Jiangcheng. Shocking. The provincial champion is still just an awakener. Who says an E-class ability can't be the provincial champion? The titles of these articles all piqued curiosity. As soon as they were published online, they attracted many netizens to click and browse, especially netizens from Jiangnan province, who constantly left their comments under these articles. Isn't the provincial champion usually a first-tier high-level ability user? Can an awakener also become the provincial champion? An E-class ability awakener can become the provincial champion? If that's true, I'll eat *T on the spot. Upstairs you wait. I'm going to find his martial arts college entrance exam video now. Regarding these news reports, the most common comments were doubts. After all, the provincial champions of Jiangnan province in previous years were all first-tier high-level ability user. Their ability levels were at least A-class or B-class. Now, with an E-class ability awakener becoming the provincial champion, everyone naturally disbelieved it. Some extreme individuals even clamored in the comments. They claimed there was foul play in this martial arts college entrance exam, and that Xu Jingming was actually the good-for-nothing son of some behind-the-scenes big shot, forcibly pushed into the provincial champion position. Cheating in the martial arts college entrance exam is an extremely serious matter. With such comments, public opinion gradually fermented. Many people directly left messages on Jiangcheng's official account, requesting the truth. Just as public opinion showed signs of escalating, Jiangcheng's official account unhurriedly released Xu Jingming's martial arts college entrance exam video. In response, some ill-intentioned trolls who had already prepared to harshly criticize were immediately dumbfounded. The provincial champion of Jiangnan province, Xu Jingming, really was an awakener. Holy crap! A single shot pierced through the skull of a first-tier unicorn rhino. Good heavens, this power is even stronger than a first-tier ability user, isn't it? It looks like a reinforced type, strength amplification ability, but he's only an awakener. How could the ability amplification be so strong? Damn it, it's not a reinforced type, it's lightning type. You're telling me this power is an E-class ability? Unscrupulous media, fabricating rumors without a bottom line for traffic. Xu Jingming's martial arts college entrance exam video lasted 12 hours, perfectly encompassing every moment he spent in the examination hall. Thus, as soon as the video was released, the voices questioning Xu Jingming quickly disappeared. In their place was people's astonishment at Xu Jingming's exquisite spearmanship and powerful lightning-type ability. The topic of Xu Jingming exploded online, and it also ignited a hot topic locally in Jiangcheng. The martial arts college entrance exam is a topic that everyone participates in. However, in previous Jiangcheng college entrance examinations, the best result was only within the top 100 in Jiangnan province. It was embarrassing to even mention, so Jiangcheng residents didn't pay much attention to it before. But now it was different. Jiangcheng had produced a provincial champion. Many people enthusiastically posted topics online. Some people who already knew Xu Jingming even claimed to be his friends. As for the local media in Jiangcheng, they became even busier, swarming to Jiangcheng Second High School, wanting to interview the principal. As early as when Xu Jingming scored over 10,000 points, the principal had anticipated this scene. So, dressed in a suit, he faced numerous microphones, completely unfazed, and spoke eloquently. In addition, Xu Jingming's homeroom teacher and many subject teachers also received interviews. This time, the usually strict homeroom teacher's smile never faded from his face. Between his words, he also praised Xu Jingming without reservation. Besides Jiangcheng Second High School, high-level personnel from the City Education Bureau and the municipal government also accepted interviews. Xu Jingming is the pride of us Jiangcheng people. Achieving such results is inseparable from his own efforts. Of course, it is also inseparable from the strong cultivation of the school and the Education Bureau. As per custom, Zhang Wenshan, the director of the Education Bureau, passionately delivered several official statements. He then announced that Xu Jingming would be rewarded with a grand gift including 1 million in cash and an ability cultivation method. After the City Education Bureau completed its commendation, the municipal government also followed suit. It announced that it would present student Xu Jingming with 1 million in cash and a luxurious villa in the city. Commending the provincial champion is an old tradition in various provinces. Although Jiangxing is much poorer compared to provincial capital cities like Ning'an City, it could still afford a few million. Furthermore, the popularity Xu Jingming brought to Jiangxing far outweighed the government's expenditure. Chapter 32. Top Universities Arrive. Xu Jingming was unaware of the online commotion. After receiving congratulatory calls from his aunt, as well as the principal and bureau chief, he went straight to Thunder Dojo. Although he had the system, his daily basic training could not be neglected. Inside the training room, the black obsidian spear, which was almost scrapped, transformed into a black phantom under his swing. Because the swinging speed was too fast, sharp whistles occasionally emanated from the air. The black obsidian spear's weight of up to 50 kilograms seemed to have no effect on him whatsoever. Every movement was perfectly standard. Ding-ling. The phone rang, interrupting Xu Jingming's training. He frowned, put down his spear, and picked up his phone. The caller ID showed Zhao Yao, the principal of Jiangxing Second High School. Didn't the principal just call a moment ago? Why is he calling again? His status as the provincial champion was destined to bring Xu Jingming great fame. However, he personally disliked being disturbed, especially during training. So he had set his phone to whitelist mode early on, but he didn't expect the principal to call 2 or 3 times in a row. Yet, Xu Jingming also knew that, with the principal's character, he wouldn't call unless it was something important. So he no longer hesitated and pressed the answer button on the screen. Sure enough, as soon as the call connected, Principal Zhao Yao's excited voice came through. Xu Jingming, hurry to the school. The admissions teachers from the 3 top universities have already arrived. The admissions teachers arrived so quickly. Xu Jingming was a little surprised. Among the 3 top ability universities, Qingjing Ability University is located in the northern part of Great Xi'an Nation, and Jincheng Ability University is located in the central part of Great Xi'an Nation. Both are quite far from Jiangnan Province. Perhaps only Magic City Ability University is slightly closer to Jiangnan. According to his estimate, these admissions teachers would arrive at the earliest tomorrow. Don't dwell on it so much. Where are you? I'll immediately arrange a special car to pick you up. I'm at Thunder Dojo. Okay, please wait a moment. The special car will be right over. Meanwhile, at Jiangcheng Second High School, Principal Zhao Yao, who was still being interviewed, was startled when he learned that the admissions teachers from the 3 top universities had arrived together. He immediately stopped the interview and called Xu Jingming to notify him to come to the school. Then he personally led the 3 mentors to the school's VIP reception room, offering each a cup of hot tea. Teachers, please take a seat for a moment. Xu Jingming will arrive in about 10 minutes. As a second-order ability user and the principal of a middle school, Zhao Yao was considered a prominent figure in Jiangxing. But now, his posture was very humble and his attitude was extremely respectful, because he knew that these 3 important figures were people he absolutely could not offend. Even the oppressive aura of high-order ability user that they inadvertently exuded made his heart tremble. It's fine, Principal Zhao. You go ahead and get busy. We'll just wait here for a bit. Zhang Chuyang, the director of admissions at Magic City Ability University, smiled warmly and waved his hand. After Zhao Yao left, he turned to the other 2 and said with a smile, "You too. It seems like it's been a long time since we've gathered like this, hasn't it?" Inside the room, besides him, there were 2 other people, a man and a woman. They were Su Yun from Qingjing Ability University, a voluptuous woman with a pleasant face, and Wu Yuan from Jincheng Ability University, a middle-aged man in a gray robe with long hair. Like Zhang Choyang, they were both directors of admissions offices at their respective universities. Years ago, when the 3 of them had not yet become directors, they had met at special recruitment sites in various provinces. But ever since they became admissions directors, they had rarely traveled outside and had not met again. Now, for Xu Jingming, the 3 of them had, quite uncommonly, come together again. Teacher Zhang, there's no need for so many pleasantries, is there? Everyone's purpose in coming here this time is very clear. Let me state up front, Xu Jingming, Qingjing Ability University, is claiming him. Su Yun, the admissions teacher from Qingjing Ability University, had a personality as fiery as her figure. She didn't bother with pleasantries and immediately stated her purpose. Aha, you say you're claiming him, and that's it? I also say our Jincheng University is claiming him. Wu Yuan, the admissions teacher from Jincheng University, was not to be outdone and snorted coldly. Zhang Chuyang, seeing this, couldn't help but rub his temples, a headache brewing. Due to the annual University League, the three top universities have always been highly selective in their student recruitment, always choosing the best of the best. Especially at special recruitment sites for provincial champions like this, the atmosphere is even more tense, and it's not uncommon for admissions teachers to even come to blows. He naturally didn't mind this. When the time came to demonstrate the school's heritage with strength, he wouldn't hesitate. However, this situation was a bit different. Zhang Chuyang cleared his throat and said, "You too. You've come all this way, not just because Xu Jingming is the provincial champion, but also because of his ability, right?" "Nonsense." Su Yin rolled her eyes. The moment she saw Zhang Chaoyang and Wu Yuan, she knew their goals were the same. They were all here for Xu Jingming's ability, which had a high probability of being S rank. In that case, once Xu Jingming arrives, how about we first determine the rank of his ability? Listening to Zhang Chuyang's suggestion, Su Yun and Wu Yuan exchanged glances, then nodded. "Okay, let's determine the ability rank first, then discuss admission." For a time, the entire VIP reception room fell silent. However, it wasn't long before a whoosh sound was heard, and the sliding door of the conference room opened. A tall figure carrying a long spear, led by Principal Zhao Yao, walked in. This person was none other than Xu Jingming. As soon as he entered the reception room, three gazes simultaneously focused on him. Because he had come from Thunder Dojo, Xu Jingming was still wearing ordinary loose training clothes. Behind him, he carried the tattered black obsidian spear. This appearance, compared to Principal Zhao Yao in his suit and tie, seemed a bit shabby. However, his upright posture and the calm and steady demeanor revealed in his clear, black and white eyes were something that Zhao Yao, who appeared somewhat walking on thin ice in front of the three special recruitment teachers, could not compare to. Not bad. Su Yin couldn't help but nod. After the martial arts college entrance exam, most candidates would indulge themselves after 3 years of suppressed high school life, not even thinking about training. But the Xu Jingming in front of them had clearly just finished training. Just this point alone was something ordinary candidates couldn't compare to. Moreover, the three of them were all fifth-order ability user of the psychic type, and although they hadn't used their abilities, the invisible oppressive feeling they exuded was something ordinary ability user couldn't withstand. This could be seen from Zhao Yao beside them. Yet, Xu Jingming was completely unaffected, clearly indicating his firm will, not easily shaken. Being all fifth-order ability user, if Su Yun could discern this, then naturally everyone else could too. Thus, right from this first meeting, Xu Jingming left a good impression on the admissions teachers. Chapter 33, S-Rank Ability. The Scramble for Talent. Xu Jingming, let me introduce you. This is Su Yun from Qingjing Ability University, and this is... Under Principal Zhao Yao's introduction, Xu Jingming quickly learned the identities of the three teachers. Greetings, teachers. Xu Jingming's demeanor was respectful. He could faintly sense the dangerous aura radiating from the three of them. Needless to say, they were at least fourth-rank ability users. Student Xu, we've all watched your martial art college entrance exam combat footage. Your practical combat strength is impressive and truly remarkable. However, I have a question. Your ability doesn't seem to be the E-rank ability weak current you originally registered during your awakening. Could you tell us why? If it's inconvenient, that's fine. We're just a bit curious. Zhang Chaoyang spoke first, his tone exceptionally gentle. Principal Zhao Yao, standing to the side, couldn't help but look curious as well. Of course, the day before the college entrance exam, Xu Jingming, already prepared, repeated the explanation he'd given his aunt. Struck by natural lightning, causing your ability to mutate? That's indeed possible. Before arriving, the three teachers had already done their homework. They knew Xu Jingming had been struck by lightning the day before the exam. They nodded, accepting the explanation. Then, Zhang Chuyang, positioned in the center, opened his right hand. As if performing a magic trick, a sleek, sci-fi-looking black device materialized in his palm. The other two teachers showed no surprise at this. Student Xu, I suppose you still don't know what your mutated ability is, do you? I happen to bring an ability detector from the university. Come try it out. Xu Jingming nodded and stepped forward. He'd only ever seen an ability detector once, back when he awakened at 16. The device used in the awakening ceremony was huge, about the size of a double-door refrigerator. He'd never used this portable version and wasn't sure how it worked. Just channel your ability, Zhang Qiuyang reminded him. Xu Jingming nodded, took a deep breath, and directly summoned the violet heaven divine lightning. Crackle. In an instant, violent, dazzling purple lightning coiled around him. Such ferocious lightning. The teachers were visibly startled. They could sense the wild power contained within the lightning. Even as fifth-rank ability users, they felt a slight tremor of fear. At that moment, the ability detector in front of Xu Jingming activated, projecting a blue beam from within. It scanned the lightning and Xu Jingming from head to toe. Then, under the expectant gazes of the 3 special recruitment teachers and the principal, a mechanical voice sounded from the device. Ability scan complete. Ability identified. Violet Heaven Divine Lightning, rated S rank. It's actually an S rank ability. Principal Zhao Yao's eyes widened. He'd guessed Xu Jingming's ability had mutated, but never imagined it had jumped straight from E rank to S rank. Although the other 3 teachers had anticipated this, seeing it confirmed still left them breathing faster. Wu Yuan, the recruiter from Jincheng University, his eyes practically green, was first to speak. Student Xu, if you join Jincheng Ability University, we'll award you 4 million in scholarships upon enrollment, plus a full set of C-grade equipment. On top of that, throughout your 4 years, any ability cultivation methods or combat techniques you need will be provided free of charge. 4 million in scholarships. Principal Zhao Yao's heart shook. Just now the city had awarded 2 million, and now another 4 million. Do these people think money grew on trees? That C-grade equipment set alone was worth over 10 million. Of course, for ability users, cultivation methods and combat techniques were priceless treasures you couldn't buy even if you had the money. As expected, geniuses are priceless. Zhao Yao mused inwardly. Back when he'd been in Ability University, he had to risk his life hunting countless beasts just to afford a single combat technique. Now, they were just giving them away for free. Is that all you can offer? Su Yun from Qingjing University arched a delicate brow, her gaze fixed on Xu Jingming. Student Su, if you join Qingjing Ability University, you'll receive cultivation methods and combat techniques, plus a 6 million enrollment bonus and all the equipment you'll need for 4 years. Qingjing Ability University, located in the capital of Great Xi'an Nation, was clearly wealthier and more generous, throwing down a huge sum right away. Finally, Zhang Chuyang, after a moment's thought, stated his university's conditions. Cultivation methods and combat techniques go without saying, whatever they have, we have too. However, we don't offer scholarships or equipment. Instead, every academic year will provide you with 1 S-rank cultivation resource. S-rank cultivation resource? What's that? Xu Jingming looked puzzled. Su Yun and Wu Yuan exchanged glances, shock in each other's eyes. Xu Jingming didn't know, but how could they not? So-called S-rank cultivation resources were treasures impossible to value. Even for 5th-rank ability users like themselves, S-rank resources were of great use. And now, Magic Capital Ability University was promising 1 per year. What incredible generosity was this? You've heard of draconic beasts, right? At Zhang Qiuyang's question, Xu Jingming nodded. Beast species had hierarchies. Some were weak, some strong. Certain innately powerful species with dragon-like forms were dubbed draconic beasts. They were born at 4th or 5th rank and could reach 7th or 8th rank as adults. Good. Among our S-rank resources is something called Dragon Blood. It's extracted from the heart blood of 8th rank draconic beasts. After consuming Dragon Blood, your physique will be greatly enhanced, comparable to a draconic beast. And every one of our S-rank resources is on the level of Dragon Blood. Now do you understand? Zhang Qiuyang said with a smile. Only because Xu Jingming's special recruitment rating was S+, did he offer such extravagant terms. Dragon Blood, S-rank cultivation resource. Principal Zhao Yao had thought himself worldly-wise. But after seeing the conditions the 3 top universities offered to recruit Xu Jingming, he realized his horizons were still too narrow. Xu Jingming couldn't help but feel shocked. S-rank cultivation resources were indeed irresistible. All right, it's time for you to decide. Among our 3 top universities, which will you choose? The 3 teachers' gazes focused on Xu Jingming, waiting for his answer. Chapter 34, the final choice. Magic City University of Supernatural Powers. Facing the gazes of the 3 teachers, Xu Jingming remained silent for a moment before saying, I choose Magic City Ability University. Because ability points had to be obtained by killing fierce beasts, he paid more attention to the combat training capabilities of top universities. Through his research during this period, he found that in the past 20 sessions of the Inter-University Alliance competition, which was known for its combat, Magic City Ability University had won almost half of the championships. This was enough to show that Magic City Ability University's cultivation of students' combat abilities was the strongest among the 3 universities. Coupled with the S-class ability it offered, Magic City Ability University could be said to be the best choice. It really is Magic City Ability University. Su Yun and Wu Yuan both sighed. In the face of S-level cultivation resources, the conditions proposed by their 2 schools were indeed much paler. However, this was not their fault. The schools only had so many resources for special admissions. S-level cultivation resources, which were very useful even for high-level ability user, would never be used by the schools for freshman admissions. The schools did not allow it, and they could not offer more attractive admission conditions. Teacher Zhang, congratulations, your Magic City Ability University has snatched a good seedling this time. The tense atmosphere was limited to vying for him. Now that the result was decided, Su Yun and Wu Yuan couldn't help but congratulate Zhang Chunyang. Then they didn't linger and left with a sigh. They had no chance with the provincial champion of Jiangnan province, but they still needed to contend for the second and third place. Take care, both of you. Zhang Chunyang, with a smile, saw off the two teachers, then turned to look at Xu Jingming. Student Jingming, welcome to Magic City Ability University. Our university will definitely not let you down. After speaking, he directly took out the pre-prepared admission letter and handed it over. This is your admission letter. You will need it when you report to the university. In addition, here is a special admission contract. Please sign it. Zhang Qiaoyang handed over another contract. The text on the contract was very concise. The general content was that Xu Jingming could consult all ability cultivation methods and combat technique in the Magic City Ability University Library. In addition, he would receive one S-level cultivation resource annually. The contract was in duplicate, and both copies had already been stamped with the official seal of Magic City Ability University. After confirming that the content was correct, Xu Jingming signed his name, giving one copy to Zhang Chunyang and keeping one for himself. Very good, Student Jingming. You are now a member of our Magic City Ability University. Magic City Ability University looks forward to your arrival. Zhang Chunyang, who had the contract in hand, also breathed a sigh of relief. With an S-class ability awakener secured, this trip had finally lived up to the university's expectations. With a flick of his hand, the contract disappeared into thin air. This scene made Xu Jingming, who had been very curious, couldn't help but his eyes light up, and he asked, Teacher Zhang, where did your contract go? You mean this? Zhang Qiaoyang smiled and raised his right hand, on which a delicate ring was worn on his index finger. Immediately, the ring flashed, and the contract appeared out of thin air in his hand. This is a space ring, created based on the ability of Space Ability user. Small items can be stored inside. Zhang Chunyang explained with a smile. Space ring. Xu Jingming was shocked. Wasn't this something from the fantasy novels of his previous life? It had actually been realized in this world. However, after second thought, he was relieved. Since space ability existed, it seemed very reasonable to create a space ring. Why get a chance? I'll get one too. Xu Jingming secretly made a decision. There was no way around it. Something like a space ring was indeed too tempting. The price of a space ring is not cheap. If you want to buy one, you'll have to work hard. As if seeing through Xu Jingming's thoughts, Zhang Qiaoyang offered a word of encouragement. He paused, then added, Also, the freshman enrollment period for our university is September 1st. You can also choose to enroll early. That's fine. We will provide accommodation for you. Of course, for special admissions like you, we always encourage early enrollment. Can I enroll early? Then after enrollment, I can consult the ability cultivation methods and combat technique in the library. Xu Jingming's eyes lit up, and he quickly asked, Of course, no problem. Zhang Qiaoyang nodded. That's great. Xu Jingming originally thought he would have to wait until school started to enjoy the vast cultivation resources of Magic City Ability University. But now that he could enroll early, how could he not be excited? Teacher Zhang, I will report to the university and enroll as soon as possible. Good. Here's my contact information. When you arrive at the university, just call me directly. After leaving his contact information, Zhang Chunyang didn't stay long and got up to leave. Thus, in the spacious VIP reception room, only Xu Jingming and Principal Zhao Yao remained. Phew, they're finally all gone. These high-level ability user, the pressure they exert is unusually strong. Zhao Yao breathed a sigh of relief, wiped the fine sweat from his forehead, then looked at the exquisite admission letter in Xu Jingming's hand as if it were a treasure. Magic City Ability University's admission letter. This is an incredible honor. Come on, call your homeroom teacher. Let's take a big group photo together. Led by Principal Zhao Yao, Xu Jingming held the admission letter from Magic City Ability University. At the entrance of second high school, he took a group photo with Principal Zhao Yao and the teachers of Class 5. In the photo, every teacher's smile was exceptionally bright, and this photo was placed in the most central position of the Jiangcheng Second High School honor room, becoming a role model for many students to imitate and learn from in the future. During the group photo, Xu Jingming also received calls from the Municipal Education Bureau and the municipal government. After learning about the generous rewards offered by the other party, which only required him to make an appearance on the day the rewards were distributed, Xu Jingming agreed without hesitation. After all, they had given so many rewards. It was only right to make an appearance and promote his hometown more, wasn't it? After leaving the university, Xu Jingming went to the city center and bought many gifts. Then he took a taxi to Jinghu Community, where his aunt's family lived. Unlike Xu Jingming's simple community, Jinghu Community was a high-end villa area. The security at the gate was also very strict. Without the owner's consent, others could barely enter. Fortunately, Xu Jingming had previously registered for visitor access here, so he entered the community unimpeded. Ding dong! Xu Jingming stood at the villa gate and pressed the doorbell. After a short while, the gate opened, and the figure of Aunt Xu Qingwan appeared. Seeing that it was Xu Jingming, Xu Qingwan's eyes lit up. Xiaoming, why are you here? Come in quickly, come in. The provincial ranking has been released. I thought you, the provincial champion, would be very busy. I didn't expect you to come at this time. Old Tang, Xiaoming is here. Quickly go make some tea. Aunt Xu Qingwan enthusiastically led Xu Jingming to the villa living room. Chapter 35. Leave and start a new life. Xiaoming is here. A well-built man walked out of the study. Uncle, Xu Jingming greeted politely. This man was his Uncle Tang Daolin. You sit for a bit, I'll go make you some tea. Uncle Tang Daolin smiled and nodded, then called upstairs. Chi, your cousin is here. Thump, thump, thump. Accompanied by footsteps, Tang Chi walked down the stairs with long strides. Yeah, Xu Jingming also said with a smile. Jingming, that's really impressive. You actually became the provincial champion. I didn't have time to call earlier, but it's not too late to say congratulations now, right? Tang Chi smiled sweetly and sat next to Xu Qingwan. Of course, it's not too late. Xu Jingming said with a smile. Oh, right, these are the gifts I brought for you all. There are face masks for Aunt, skincare product for Jia, and tea leaves for Uncle. Xu Jingming took out the gifts one by one. Xiaoming, you're so thoughtful. Aunt Xu Qingwan didn't stand on ceremony and was about to accept them, but then she noticed that these gifts were all from relatively luxurious brands. Together, they would cost at least 10 to 20,000 yuan, and her eyes widened in surprise. Why buy such expensive gifts? You'll need a lot of money for university later. Go return them all later. It's not too late to buy us gifts when you're earning money. And I earned these myself. Xu Jingming grinned. The city is giving me 2 million yuan, an ability training method, and a luxurious villa as a reward for becoming the provincial champion. These gifts, costing 10 to 20,000, aren't much of a burden for me. Of course, even without the city's reward. Given how much Ant's family has helped him over the years, buying them expensive gifts was only right. Wanqing, then you should accept them. I also saw the city's reward announcement online. Besides, not only the city, but many local businesses in Jiangsheng have publicly stated they want to give you equipment and resources. Uncle smiled as he brought over a steaming cup of clear tea. So that's how it is. Xu Qingwan nodded and no longer refused. I can accept the city's reward, but I can't accept the things those businesses want to give. Xu Jingming nodded, indicating he understood. The city government has an official background, so there's no problem accepting rewards from the state. But private businesses are different. Accepting their gifts might lead to trouble later. Oh, right, Uncle just mentioned that the city also gave you a villa. Where's this villa located? Aunt Xu Qingwan asked curiously. The city said I could pick anywhere within Jiangsheng, but I haven't decided where yet, Xu Jingming replied. Then you should just choose our Jinghu community. It'll be easier for us to visit each other in the future, Xu Qingwan quickly suggested. All right, Xu Jingming readily agreed. For him, an orphan with deceased parents, a house was just a place to sleep at night. Anywhere would do. Since Aunt wanted him to live here, then he would come here. Uncle Tang Daolin, who was beside him, felt a bit emotional upon hearing this. This house was something he had worked for most of his life. And now, Xu Jingming not only didn't have to spend a single cent, but people were also eager to give him one. Indeed, the younger generation is formidable. I happen to have some training issues, so once you move in, Jingming, I can ask you for advice. Tang Chi said with a smile. Although she used a dagger, and Xu Jingming used a spear, his combat experience was clearly much stronger than hers, and he could offer some training guidance. All right, Xu Jingming nodded, then paused, hesitating slightly, but I might not be able to guide you for long. Once everything here is settled, I'll be leaving. Leaving? Going where? Xu Qingwan's heart skipped a beat. To Modu to report for university enrollment. Xu Jingming took out his admission letter. Just now, I was admitted to Magic City Ability University. Already admitted? But isn't it still too early to fill out college applications? Xu Qingwan was slightly taken aback. Filling out college applications only began on the third day after the martial arts college entrance exam results were announced. Xiaoming is the provincial champion, so he's taking the special recruitment route and doesn't need to wait for college applications. Uncle Tang Daolin shook his head and explained. Special recruitment. To think he's going to enroll so soon. Xu Qingwan felt a bit disappointed. She had originally planned to take Xu Jingming out to have some fun during this holiday period. However, she also knew that Magic City Ability University was the top university in the country. Xu Jingming choosing to enroll early must have his own reasons. The child has grown up after all. Su Qingwan shook her head, and her mood quickly recovered. Going to Magic City Ability University is a good thing. Today, I'm treating you all to a big meal. It's also a celebration for Xiao Ming becoming the provincial champion. Hey, I want a lobster feast. Tang Chi's eyes lit up, and Su Jingming also smiled. And so, the whole family happily went out. In the days that followed, Su Jingming first made an appearance at a city government event, receiving a cash reward of 2 million yuan. He then chose a detached villa in Jinghu Community, with 2 floors and a total area of over 400 square meters. All the furniture in the villa was brand new. As for the original furniture and furnishings in the community, he didn't touch them. Additionally, he treated his high school best friends, Zhang Hao and Lu Jie, to a meal. At the dinner table, his 2 best friends were full of envy over Su Jingming's rise. After learning that Su Jingming was struck by lightning, and his ability mutated from E rank to S rank, they even exclaimed that he had incredible luck. They then ordered a few more large lobsters with fierce expressions. Of course, their own results were not bad either. Lu Jie scored 245 points in the martial arts college entrance exam, securing his spot in an ability university. Zhang Hao, who took the cultural college entrance examination, also met the first-tier university admission line. However, compared to Magic City Ability University, which admitted Su Jingming, there was naturally no comparison. In the end, Zhang Hao and Lu Jie both got completely drunk. Ming, you rascal. When you get into Magic City Ability University, you absolutely must get a signed photo of Jiang Nushin for me. Before getting into the taxi, Zhang Hao was still mumbling semi-consciously. Jiang Nushin, whose real name is Jiang Chuxian, is an ability user from Magic City Ability University. In the past 6 months, she became popular online due to a video of her slaying a ferocious beast. In the video, her exquisite beauty contrasted sharply with her clean and decisive slaying style. This led to her being called Jiang Nushin, and Zhang Hao was her loyal fan. Su Jingming naturally agreed wholeheartedly, and it took him a lot of effort to calm him down and put him in the taxi. At this point, all matters in Jiangcheng were settled. The next day, June 16th, under the watchful eyes of Anne's family, Su Jingming, carrying his suitcase, boarded the high-speed train bound for Modu. Xiao Ming's departure this time will likely lead to him soaring to great heights. Uncle Tang Daolin watched the gradually departing high-speed train with a look of emotion. Before this, who could have imagined that Su Jingming would become the provincial champion and be admitted to Magic City Ability University? Oh, right. Chi-Chi, it's almost time to fill out college applications, isn't it? Since your cousin Jingming is going to Magic City Ability University, you should also try to choose a university in Modu, so you can look out for each other later. Your dad is right. Modu has good development, a developed economy, and it's not too far from Jiangnan. It's a good choice. Dad, Mom, I understand. Chapter 36, when did I say we wanted to be together? The straight line distance between Jiangcheng and Modu is approximately 600 kilometers, and even by high-speed rail, it takes over 3 hours. Before Su Jingming boarded the high-speed rail, he called Zhang Chuyang, intending to inform him of his arrival today. Unexpectedly, Zhang Chuyang was exceptionally enthusiastic, saying he would drive and wait at Shanghai High-Speed Railway Station in advance. Su Jingming couldn't refuse him, so he let him do as he wished. After boarding, Su Jingming stowed his luggage and found his seat. He then closed his eyes and rested by the window. At the same time, he recalled the contents of the ability exercise method in his mind. Besides the 2 million bonus and a villa, the most important thing Jiangcheng gave him was this ability exercise method. This was an ability exercise method called the Abyssal Sea Exercise Method. Just like abilities, ability exercise methods also have different ratings. They are divided into 4 different levels: primary level, intermediate, advanced, and peak. The higher the level, the faster the cultivation speed. And this Abyssal Sea Exercise Method was an intermediate ability exercise method. The original copy of the ability exercise method was held by the Jiangcheng government. What Su Jingming received was merely a duplicate. However, the content was the same, so there was no difference in practicing it. The content of the ability exercise method was not extensive. With Xu Jingming's spiritual power, which was as high as 180 Hz, it only took him a little over 2 days to memorize all the content. According to the content of the ability exercise method, a special energy floats between heaven and earth. Only by absorbing this energy can the power of one's ability be enhanced. On the first day he received the ability exercise method, Xu Jingming sensed this special energy according to the method's instructions. At the same time, a plus sign appeared after the level on his system panel. However, he did not choose to upgrade with ability points immediately, because, according to the records in the Abyssal Sea Exercise Method, when an awakener transforms into an ability user. The higher the level of the ability exercise method used for the breakthrough, the greater the benefits after the breakthrough. And since he would be able to access peak ability exercise methods once he entered Magic City Ability University, he naturally wouldn't choose to break through using an intermediate ability exercise method. The first thing to do after reporting for enrollment is to go to the library and consult the ability exercise methods, Jingming silently thought. Because the journey was truly boring and he couldn't train. He, who was originally just resting with his eyes closed, leaned against the window, felt drowsiness coming on, and simply laid down on the table to sleep. The high-speed rail from Jiangshang to Modu would stop at several stations along the way. Among them was Ning'an City, the provincial capital of Jiangnan Province. The few seats around Xu Jingming, which were originally empty, were all filled after arriving at Ning'an City. It seemed that several young people boarded, and one of the boys started talking incessantly after sitting down. Before long, he successfully made Xu Jingming's already fading drowsiness disappear, so he had no choice but to stop napping and open his eyes. His seat was a four-person arrangement with a table in the middle. At this moment, the empty seats opposite him were now occupied by a young man and a young woman. Next to him, there was also a young woman wearing glasses. The one who had been chattering nonstop since boarding was the young man directly opposite Xu Jingming. Huangpu Ability University is considered a good school in Modu. Last year's minimum admission score was 406 points. My score this time is 421 points, not much higher, but I'm basically guaranteed a spot. And my older brother also attends Huangpu Ability University, so when we get to Modu, I can take you guys on a tour inside. Huangpu Ability University generally isn't open to outsiders, so with my brother there, you're really lucky this time. The young man was dressed stylishly and spoke a great deal. Most of it was showing off his martial arts college entrance exam scores and his connections at Huangpu Ability University. The bespectacled young woman next to Xu Jingming was listening with a slight smile. However, the quieter young woman next to the young man opposite seemed subtly impatient and hardly responded. In reality, Lu Qian's patience with Zhang Chong was indeed nearing its limit. After the martial arts college entrance exam, she and her best friend both wanted to apply to universities in Modu. So they bought high-speed rail tickets for today, intending to see the schools in person. However, they unexpectedly encountered Zhang Chong after boarding. Upon learning their purpose, he began to constantly boast. At first, she was quite patient and even smiled and agreed. But as time passed, these two topics were brought up repeatedly over a dozen times, which made her feel somewhat annoyed. However, out of politeness, she couldn't directly tell him to shut up. See? He even woke up the person who was quietly sleeping opposite. Lu Qian was about to apologize, but upon seeing the other person's appearance, her beautiful eyes lit up. What a handsome young man. The young man opposite had a resolute appearance, a high-nosed bridge, and a pair of clear, spirited eyes. His looks were in no way inferior, even compared to male celebrities on television. Although she wasn't a fangirl, seeing such a handsome young man couldn't help but make her feel favorably towards him, especially when there was a constantly chattering fly next to him as a contrast. "I'm sorry, did I disturb you?" Lu Qian said with a slight apology. Xu Jingming waved his hand, indicating he didn't mind. "Hello, I'm Sun Rue. Are you also going to Modu?" Compared to Lu Qian's quietness, the bespectacled young woman next to Xu Jingming was clearly much more outgoing. Seeing that Xu Jingming was about the same age as her, she took the initiative to greet him. Xu Jingming, also going to Modu. Facing Sun Rue's inquiry, Xu Jingming nodded politely. "We're all going to Modu, so we really are fated." Lu Qian smiled sweetly and said kindly, "I'm Lu Qian, planning to go to Modu to see the ability universities there in person. I'm going for tourism and to visit my brother at Huangpu Ability University." The young man next to Lu Qian chimed in. "I'm Zhang Chong. Brother, are you also going to Modu to visit schools?" Xu Jingming was about to say he was going to report for enrollment, but the young man continued on his own. "Looking at your age, you're similar to us, so that must be it. How about this? I'll take all of you to Huangpu Ability University to have a look later." Zhang Chong chuckled, his tone carrying a faint sense of superiority. "It's not me boasting. Among all the universities in Modu, Huangpu Ability University is definitely one of the ranked ones. After the application period ends, I'll also be going to Huangpu Ability University." Xu Jingming, hearing this, was somewhat speechless. Modu, as an international metropolis, indeed had some good ability universities besides the top-tier Magic City Ability University. However, among these universities, Huangpu Ability University, with an admission score of only slightly over 400 points, definitely couldn't be called exceptionally good. Of course, for ordinary examinees, it was indeed considered a prestigious school. Xu Jingming had little desire to talk to strangers. Lu Qian was also a relatively quiet girl, while Sun Rue was slightly more lively. But compared to talking, she seemed to prefer listening. Thus, in the subsequent conversation, Zhang Chong naturally dominated. He vigorously showed off his college entrance examination scores and his connections at Huangpu Ability University, hoping to attract Lu Qian's attention. However, his conversational skills were too clumsy, making Xu Jingming secretly shake his head. Not to mention Lu Qian, who almost had the word disgust written directly on her forehead. But compared to when they first boarded the train, Lu Qian's patience was much stronger. After all, there was now a handsome young man to feast her eyes on, wasn't there? So, for the rest of the journey, Lu Qian's gaze was almost entirely on Xu Jingming. Time quickly passed, and at around noon, the train finally arrived at Shanghai High-Speed Railway Station. Xu Jingming and his companions followed the crowd out. Along the way, Zhang Chong tried to ask for Lu Qian's contact information, but was met with a rebuff. Soon, the group walked out of the high-speed railway station. Outside the station, taxis and private cars for picking up passengers were parked in rows. Zhang Chong's eyes lit up when he saw one of the cars, and he quickly approached Lu Qian, showering her with attention. My brother's car has arrived. You guys can come with me. It's perfect for visiting Huangpu Ability University. After speaking, he feigned an apologetic look at Xu Jingming. However, my brother's car doesn't have enough seats. If you want to come along, you'll have to take a taxi yourself. But don't worry, we'll wait for you at the school gate. A typical sedan usually has 5 seats, and with his cousin as the driver, there were only 4 people, so there were naturally enough seats. He deliberately said this to try and push Xu Jingming away. After all, he wasn't blind. During that time on the train, the beautiful Lu Qian's attention was almost entirely on Xu Jingming. Even a fool could tell that Lu Qian had a good impression of Xu Jingming. However, if he could push the other person away, he might still have a chance. However, this brilliant maneuver of his not only failed to yield the desired result, but instead earned him Xu Jingming's gaze, which was like looking at an idiot. When did I say I was going along? Chapter 37. The VIP of the Demon University? Zhang Chong is confused. Lu Qian also reacted, her delicate eyebrows furrowing as she said with a hint of anger. Zhang Chong, your car only has 4 seats? Aren't you doing this on purpose? I absolutely didn't mean that. I just thought it might be a bit crowded with more people. Since you put it that way, let's just go together. My brother's car can fit everyone. Seeing Lu Qian get angry, Zhang Chong was slightly startled, then immediately changed his tone. He wanted to squeeze out Xu Jingming, but it would be meaningless if Lu Qian left too. Who do you think cares about visiting Huangpu Ability University? Lu Qian glared, then turned to look at Xu Jingming. Jingming, if you don't mind, you could take a taxi with us. Before we came, we had already planned several universities we wanted to visit and inspect. We can move together. Huangpu Ability University was indeed a decent school, and it generally wasn't open to outsiders. If it were normal times, she would really want to visit. But she was truly fed up with Zhang Chong's endless, greasy bragging. And now he was deliberately trying to squeeze out someone else, which she found even more intolerable. Sun Rui, who was beside them, also noticed that Zhang Chong seemed to be deliberately targeting Xu Jingming. Although she really wanted to visit Huangpu Ability University, at a time like this, she still firmly stood by Lu Qian's side. She smiled and invited Xu Jingming. Come with us. With one more person, it'll be livelier. You guys. Upon hearing this, Zhang Chong's once handsome face instantly turned a liverish purple. However, Xu Jingming didn't even spare him a glance, and said to Lu Qian and Sun Rui, I'm going to Shanghai University Town, and a car is coming to pick me up. I'll ask if it can take you two along. If so, I can bring you both. Shanghai University Town. Lu Qian was slightly stunned upon hearing this. Shanghai University Town was a famous landmark in Shanghai. There, not only was there Magic City Ability University, one of the top 3 universities in the country, the surrounding universities were also among the best in the country, with extremely high admission scores. Of course, precisely because they were all prestigious schools, visiting them required advance reservations. It was just that due to its immense popularity, reservations for visits were already booked for several months in advance, and they simply hadn't managed to secure a spot. Even if they went, it would just be a wasted trip. There would be no way to enter the schools. However, Shanghai University Town, as a famous landmark, was still quite nice to see even from outside the campus. After thinking for a moment, Lu Qian still nodded and said, Okay, then let's go ask together. If it doesn't work out, we'll take a taxi ourselves. Xu Jingming had already seen Zhang Chaoyang's car when he exited the subway station, so he led Lu Qian and Sun Rui towards it. Guys who couldn't even get a reservation for Huangpu Ability University, I don't believe you can get into the schools at Shanghai University Town. Watching the 3 leave together, Zhang Chong couldn't help but sound a bit sarcastic. However, immediately after, upon realizing the direction Xu Jingming was heading, his eyes widened. Is that? He saw a Mercedes-Benz X X100 SUV parked in the direction Xu Jingming was walking. The Mercedes-Benz X100 was a military-grade SUV, accelerating to 100 kilometers per hour in just 1.8 seconds, suitable for any complex terrain. It was the most favored SUV model by wilderness area adventurers, with an official price of over $10 million. Of course, in the economically developed Shanghai, a car worth tens of millions was nothing special. What was most striking was the huge emblem painted on the vehicle's hood and doors. At the center of the emblem was a sharp sword, surrounded by roses with thorns. The overall look was both domineering and elegant. Almost every Shanghai resident recognized this emblem. That was the Magic City Ability University's school emblem. Although Zhang Chong was not a local of Shanghai, as a high school graduate, he naturally recognized the Magic City Ability University's school emblem. In fact, he had noticed this car as soon as he exited the high-speed rail station. However, he had assumed it was for picking up some distinguished guest of Magic City Ability University, so he hadn't paid it any mind. He never expected that this car was waiting for Xu Jingming. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. He must be heading for another vehicle. Zhang Chong stared intently at Xu Jingming, hoping he was wrong. However, the other party, along with Lu Qian and Sun Rui, smoothly got into the car and drove away. This car was really waiting specifically for Xu Jingming. Zhang Chong, in the distance, was dumbfounded. Magic City Ability University's special car could not be easily dispatched and was generally only used to receive important figures. In other words, this simply dressed Xu Jingming was actually a VIP of Magic City Ability University. Good heavens, even VIPs are this low-key. Amidst his shock, Zhang Chong also felt a bit of relief. Fortunately, he hadn't been too arrogant just now. On the other side, after getting permission from Zhang Chuyang, the director of admissions, Xu Jingming brought the two of them into the car. And Lu Qian and Sun Rui naturally recognized the Magic City Ability University's school emblem. They just hadn't expected that the car waiting for Xu Jingming would be like this. By the time they came to their senses, they had already been brought into the car. "Are these your friends?" From the driver's seat, Zhang Chuyang asked with a chuckle. "I met them on a high-speed train. They want to apply to universities here in Shanghai and came for an on-site visit and inspection. I thought there are quite a few schools in Shanghai University Town, so I'm giving them a ride there since it's on the way." Xu Jingming, in the front passenger seat, briefly explained. "Oh, there are indeed a few good schools in Shanghai University Town, but if you want to visit, you need to make an appointment in advance. Have you both made appointments?" Seeing Zhang Chuyang mention them. In the back seat, Lu Qian and Sun Rui, who had been as quiet as quails, intimidated by Zhang Chuyang's advanced ability user aura since getting in the car, quickly shook their heads. "You need to make an appointment to visit a school?" Xu Jingming frowned. This was something he hadn't expected. "I was inconsiderate. When we get there, I'll hail a taxi to take you to your original planned destinations." Xu Jingming apologized, but Lu Qian and Sun Rui in the back seat quickly waved their hands. "No, it's fine. We were only planning to walk around outside the schools anyway. Just walking around won't do. Here are 2 visitor passes for all the schools in Shanghai University Town. Just take them." Taking advantage of a red light, Zhang Chaoyang handed 2 passes from the front seat. Visitor passes. Lu Qian and Sun Rui's eyes lit up simultaneously. They, of course, knew that Shanghai University Town had visitor passes, but the passes on the official website were impossible to get. Scalpers did have tickets, but each one cost 20 to 30,000, which they, as students, simply couldn't afford. "These are too valuable. We can't accept them." Although they really wanted them, Lu Qian and Sun Rui resisted the temptation and shook their heads in refusal. "They're just 2 tickets. What's so valuable about them? I have a whole pile here." Zhang Chuyang laughed heartily and directly opened the car storage box. Inside the box, a stack of such passes was neatly arranged, at least 100 of them. "These were all given to me by others, and they're useless to me. Since you are both student Su's friends, giving you 2 is no big deal." As the director of admissions, Zhang Chuyang received many such passes every year. However, students of Magic City Ability University could already freely enter and exit all schools in Shanghai University Town, so they naturally had no use for these passes. They were like waste paper to him. In fact, what was in the car was only a small portion. In his office drawer, there were at least another 100. Chapter 38. The Magnificent Magic City University of Supernatural Powers. Luxurious dormitories. Since the other party had said so, Lu Qian and Sun Rui knew that if they didn't accept the 2 tickets, it would seem too pretentious. So after sincerely thanking him, they accepted the 2 all-access passes. As the director of admissions for Magic City Ability University, Zhang Chuyang was very experienced in college application submissions. Along the way, he gave Lu Qian and Sun Rui many suggestions regarding their applications. For example, which schools in Modu might expand their enrollment this year. or which school's score cutoffs might decrease. Such insider information was generally inaccessible to ordinary people. Thus, in their excitement, Lu Qian and Sun Rui were also incredibly grateful to have met Xu Jingming on the road. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to access such confidential information. The SUV sped along and soon drove into Shanghai University town. Finally, it stopped in front of the Magic City Ability University gate. "I'll go park the car first. You wait for me here." After dropping off Xu Jingming and the two girls, Zhang Chaoyang went to park the car alone. Xu Jingming also took this opportunity to examine the top-tier university in front of him. When he was still in Jiangsheng, he had looked up information about Magic City Ability University online. He knew that Magic City Ability University was built very grandly. But when the university truly appeared before him, he felt a sense of shock. Just the gate he saw was hundreds of meters wide. The flat concrete road below, it could accommodate dozens of cars passing through simultaneously. Its height was nearly 10 meters. On the enormous gate, the 6 characters Magic City Ability University were written in a flourishing script. Under the midday sun, they shone brilliantly. Wow, if the school gate is built this grandly, what will it be like inside the university? Xu Jingming finally understood why so many students aspired to top universities. Besides the profound educational heritage, entering and exiting such a magnificent gate daily was also a visual delight. At the same time, Xu Jingming couldn't help but look forward to his university life for the next 4 years. Beside him, Lu Qian and Sun Rui were equally shocked by the grandeur of Magic City Ability University. They stared intently at the gate, not even blinking. "How is it? Impressive, right?" Just then, Zhang Chaoyang, who had parked the car, appeared beside them with a smile. He loved seeing the freshmen being awestruck by the university. This was also one of the reasons he chose to personally pick up Xu Jingming. Our Magic City Ability University covers an area of 40,000 mu, or 26 square kilometers, and a gate like this is just right for it. Zhang Chaoyang's next sentence made Lu Qian's mouth drop open, her eyes wide with surprise. 26 square kilometers. I remember Magic City Ability University only enrolls 1,000 freshmen each year. Even with all 4 grades combined, there are only about 4,000 students, right? So few people living in such a huge place. Lu Qian knew Magic City Ability University was large, but she never imagined it was 26 square kilometers. That's almost half the size of a county town. And such a vast area was inhabited by only a little over 4,000 people. One must know that this was in Modu, where every inch of land is precious. For a university to have such a large area was simply fantastical. There aren't that few people. With all the teachers and staff combined, there are over 10,000 people, so the per capita land area is just over 2,600 square meters. Zhang Chaoyang's subsequent just made Lu Qian and Sun Rui's eyes turn red with envy. A per capita land area of over 2,600 square meters. What a terrifying number. For an ordinary university, having even 1% of that per capita land area would be considered good. And so, amidst various emotions of shock, Lu Qian and Sun Rui were led into Magic City Ability University. By the time they came back to their senses, Xu Jingming was already waving goodbye. "I've spoken to Teacher Zhang. You can visit the university freely. However, once you leave, you can't come back in. So, you too. Let's part ways here. I wish you both success in being accepted into your desired universities." For Lu Qian, who found Xu Jingming's height and appearance perfectly matching her aesthetic, it was impossible not to feel some affection. But watching his figure leave with Zhang Chaoyang, she mustered all her courage but couldn't call out to him to ask for his contact information. Ultimately, we're not from the same world. Lu Qian shook her head. She came from an ordinary family, and for Xu Jingming, who was personally picked up by Magic City Ability University, she was just like a passerby. It was already good to have met him once. Wanting to develop a deeper relationship was nothing short of a pipe dream. "Xiao Qian, I know who Xu Jingming is." Sun Rui suddenly exclaimed from beside her, holding her phone out to Lu Qian. "I knew he looked somewhat familiar. It turns out he's the provincial champion from our Jiangnan province." So it's him. Looking at the news articles and accompanying photos of Xu Jingming on Sun Rui's phone, Lu Qian finally connected Xu Jingming with the provincial champion who had caused such a stir throughout Jiangnan province some time ago. So he ultimately chose Magic City Ability University. No wonder a teacher personally came to pick him up. Although there was a lot of buzz online, seeing him in person offline didn't necessarily mean recognizing him. This was a natural reaction for most people, and Lu Qian was no exception. Online, there had been no definitive news about which top university Xu Jingming would ultimately choose. She never expected that he had already chosen Magic City Ability University and was even starting his enrollment. "Indeed, we are not from the same world. Upon learning his true identity, Lu Qian felt relieved and, smiling, pulled her best friend Sun Rue. Let's go. It's not easy to get in here, so we must have a good look around. With the director of admissions leading the way, Xu Jingming's enrollment process encountered no obstacles. It only took him about half an hour to complete all the procedures. He received his student ID and dormitory key. Xu Jingming had already been awestruck by the gate of Magic City Ability University when he was at the school entrance. But when he saw his dormitory, he was once again shocked. Having studied up to a PhD in his previous life, he had seen many dormitories. He himself had changed 3 universities and lived in 3 or 4 different dorms. There were 4-person rooms, single rooms, and even 3-bedroom, 1 living room apartments specifically for PhD students. But he had never seen a university like Magic City Ability University, using villas as dormitories. The villa in front of him even looked much more luxurious than the one he had in Jiangcheng. Now, Xu Jingming finally understood why Magic City Ability University had such a vast area. All these villas provided to the student probably took up a good portion of the area. Chapter 39. 2 Major Systems. Credits. Exclusive tutor. Every student at our university lives in a villa. Of course, the luxury of the villa varies depending on their scores. As a provincial champion like you, you'll be staying in the most luxurious one, with a total area exceeding 800 square meters. But you don't have to worry about being lonely. The villas are assigned as doubles, with 2 floors. You and your roommate will each have a floor. Listening to Zhang Chaoyang's explanation, Xu Jingming finally breathed a sigh of relief. Having been an orphan both before and after his transmigration, he was tired of living alone. Having a roommate would certainly be better. In fact, he preferred the harmonious atmosphere of a 4-person dorm. A double dorm isn't bad. It's better than being alone. Xu Jingming took out his key, opened the villa door, and entered with his suitcase. Compared to its exterior, the interior of the villa was even more luxurious. The floor was made of large marble tiles, polished to a mirror-like shine. The furniture and decorations throughout the house were also incredibly exquisite. The dorms are cleaned by staff every week, so you don't have to worry about hygiene, Zhang Chuyang added as he followed him in. Cleaning an 800-square-meter dorm completely would take at least a day. Students are brought in to receive the most professional training, so naturally, they wouldn't be expected to exert themselves on such chores. All the enrollment procedures are complete. Next, I'll tell you about a few things that require special attention at our university. Please do. Xu Jingming's eyes lit up, and he and Zhang Chuyang sat opposite each other on the sofa. At Magic City Ability University, there are 2 main things to pay attention to: the credit system and the exclusive mentor system. Zhang Chaoyang slowly explained. First is the credit system. At Magic City Ability University, credits are everything. Whether it's for meals, purchasing equipment, or acquiring rare heavenly treasures, you need to use credits. 1 credit is roughly equivalent to 10,000 Great Xia coins. Of course, the actual value might be much higher than 10,000 Great Xia coins. After all, many items in our university's mall are priceless on the outside. There are many ways to acquire credits. One way is through fixed allocation based on your rating. Every freshman receives a corresponding rating upon enrollment. For example, you, with an S-class rating upon enrollment, can receive 100 credits each academic year. Furthermore, ratings are not set in stone. Under Zhang Chuyang's explanation, Xu Jingming roughly understood what credits were. Credits were the hard currency of Magic City Ability University. With credits, you could buy almost anything you wanted. There were also many ways to earn credits, besides the basic credits allocated annually. You could also earn them by completing university tasks, climbing the battle power rankings, and other methods. Your personal credit balance can be checked on the university's official website. Zhang Chuyang clapped his hands and softly called out, "Eva, come out." Xu Jingming hadn't even reacted to who he was calling. In the air not far in front of him, a cute, spherical projection appeared. This is Eva, the artificial intelligence equipped in every dorm. Eva's main body is the university's advanced artificial intelligence. The ones in the dorms are just its subbodies. Of course, even a subbody meets the standard of a level 4 artificial intelligence, which is completely sufficient for assisting with daily life, Zhang Chaoyang explained. Even a subbody is a level 4 artificial intelligence. Xu Jingming marveled. When he first transmigrated, he thought that the Blue Star world wasn't much different from his previous life, except for the addition of fierce beasts and abilities. But later, he discovered that Blue Star's technological development was far more advanced than in his previous life. Not only had it achieved the full holographic simulation technology beloved by gamers, but its artificial intelligence was also incredibly powerful. A level 4 artificial intelligence could already converse with real people without any flaws. As for the highest level artificial intelligence, it was rumored to possess genuine emotions, indistinguishable from a real person. Of course, both full holographic simulation technology and advanced artificial intelligence were things only accessible to the upper echelons of society. Xu Jingming, with his simple family background, had never encountered them from birth until now. This was why, at the beginning of his transmigration, he had formed the impression that Blue Star's technology was similar to his previous life's development. Next, with Zhang Qiaoyang's help, Xu Jingming also learned how to use this artificial intelligence named Eva, and he found his remaining credits on the university's official website. He indeed had 100 points. This made Xu Jingming couldn't help but marvel at the university's generosity. 100 credits was equivalent to 1 million great Xia coins. Although this was only for S-class students, other freshmen, even at the lowest level, received at least 20 credits upon enrollment. And each year, there were over 1,000 freshmen admitted to Magic City Ability University. This meant that Magic City Ability University spent 200 million great Xia coins annually just on the basic credits given to freshmen. As expected of a top-tier university, rich and powerful, Xu Jingming secretly exclaimed, and Zhang Qiaoyang opposite him began to discuss the next important point. The second thing to pay attention to is our university's exclusive mentor system. Every student can choose a mentor they admire to become their disciple, allowing the other party to become their exclusive mentor. Of course, the mentor must agree. Exclusive mentor? Xu Jingming was a little confused. Don't mentors teach all the arranged courses at the university? Why is there still a need for a special apprenticeship? Can the efficiency of a class's collective lesson compare to one-on-one guidance and explanation? Zhang Qiaoyang said with a smile. Furthermore, the mentors at our university are all high-level ability user. Almost every one of them has their own unique combat technique and ability cultivation methods. Some of the less important combat technique and ability cultivation methods might be shared with our library, becoming one of its collected books. But how could those mentors' signature combat technique, those incredibly powerful combat technique, be selflessly shared? You can only learn them after becoming a disciple. With Zhang Qiaoyang's explanation, Xu Jingming finally understood completely. Indeed, many powerful combat technique are the culmination of an ability user's life's work. It's simply unrealistic to expect them to share them selflessly in a regular classroom. You can only learn them after establishing a closer mentor-disciple relationship. Then, Teacher Zhang, is becoming a disciple very troublesome? What preparations are needed? Xu Jingming quickly asked. Although he had the system, having an additional mentor would undoubtedly make his cultivation path smoother. For others, it might be quite troublesome, but for you, with an S-class ability, the difficulty is almost non-existent. Zhang Qiaoyang said with a chuckle, you just need to find a lightning-type mentor you admire, visit him, and demonstrate your S-class ability and your current strength. I believe no mentor would refuse you. After speaking, he added, Magic City Ability University has a total of 4 lightning-type mentors. Among them, Yang Zhentian, the Dean of the School of Weaponry, is my primary recommendation for you to seek as a mentor. Chapter 40. 5 Major Academies. Thunder Spear, Yang Zhentian. 10 minutes later, Xu Jingming saw Zhang Qiaoyang off and sat alone, relaxed, on the living room sofa. It's a good thing I had this admissions officer to guide me. Otherwise, I really wouldn't have known that Magic City Ability University has so many things to pay attention to. Xu Jingming felt a bit fortunate. Of course, Zhang Qiaoyang also said that this information could be found in the Freshman Must-Reads section of the university's official website forum. But ultimately, it wasn't as detailed as what he explained, especially the Thunder-type ability mentor he mentioned, who was most suitable for him. Thinking of this, Xu Jingming said, Eva, help me search for information on mentor Yang Zhentian. Okay. The virtual light orb in mid-air flickered, then projected all information related to Yang Zhentian. Yang Zhentian, age 52, Dean of the School of Weaponry at Magic City Ability University, a 7th-order upper-level ability user. He possesses an A-rank Thunder-type ability called Wind Fire True Lightning, and is skilled in using various weapons such as fist technique, broadswords, spears, and longswords. Among them, he is most proficient with the spear, earning him the nickname Thunder Spear. He once fought a Tier 8 ferocious beasts, the earth-shaking demonic python, for 3 days and 3 nights in the wilderness area, ultimately defeating it alone. In his conversation with Zhang Qiaoyang earlier, Xu Jingming had already learned that Magic City Ability University is divided into 5 colleges. These are the School of Element, School of Weaponry, School of Tactics, School of Support, and Logistics College. Each college has different teaching methods and focuses. The School of Element, as its name suggests, primarily recruits students with elemental abilities. Of course, Thunder-type ability, which falls under natural abilities, is also within their recruitment scope. The School of Element focuses on cultivating students' abilities with the ultimate goal of maximizing the power of elemental abilities. The School of Weaponry is more adept at training close-quarters combatants who use their weapons as their primary means of attack. They can integrate their abilities and weapons very well. Every student who graduates from the School of Weaponry is, without a doubt, a weapon master. The School of Tactics mainly recruits mental-type ability user, training their command and combat abilities. Of course, this doesn't mean that students from the School of Tactics are weak. On the contrary, students from the School of Tactics who have developed their mental-type ability to the extreme can directly destroy an enemy's mind with a single glance, turning the opponent into an imbecile, directly ending the battle. The School of Support recruits owners of support-type abilities. Students from this college, after using their abilities, can bring powerful enhancements to themselves and their teammates, making them indispensable partners on the battlefield. As for the final Logistics College, most of its students possess special-type abilities. They are primarily responsible for various logistical production tasks. From the setup of Magic City Ability University's 5 colleges, it's clear that it is cultivating talents in different directions for the ferocious beast war. And those qualified to serve as deans of each college are the strongest among the strong. For example, Yang Jinqian, the dean of the School of Weaponry, who single-handedly killed a Tier 8 ferocious beast with his 7th order upper-level strength. This is an incredibly formidable achievement. After all, high-level ability user are not like low-level ability user, where the strength difference between each order is not significant. At high levels, the strength between each minor stage undergoes earth-shattering changes. The strength gap between major orders is even more terrifying. High-level ability user like Yang Jintian, who possess the ability to fight across orders, are extremely rare in the entire Great Xia nation. That's right, if he wasn't strong enough, he couldn't be the dean of the School of Weaponry. Xu Jingming nodded slightly. An A-rank Thunder-type ability, 7th order upper-level strength, and proficient in using a spear with the nickname Thunder Spear. From this series of information, Yang Jintian is indeed a very suitable mentor for his current situation. Our school has 4 Thunder-type ability mentors. Let's look at the information for the other 3. Xu Jingming then used Eva to find information on the remaining 3 Thunder-type ability mentors. These 3 mentors all possessed A-rank abilities, with the lowest rank being 6th order upper level. However, 2 of them were mentors from the School of Element. This meant that these 2 mentors would not use weapons, only hone their abilities. To put it in a more understandable way, they could be seen as lightning mages in an online game who only cast spells from distance. The last one, although also a mentor from the School of Weaponry, only had 7th order lower level strength, and his primary weapon was not a spear but a longsword. Compared to Yang Jintian, who had the nickname Thunder Spear, this mentor was undoubtedly much inferior. It seems that Yang Jintian, the dean of the School of Weaponry, is indeed my best choice for a mentor. After I tidy up the room and have lunch, I can go and try to apprentice with him. Xu Jingming asked Eva to close the projection and return to standby mode. He then carried his suitcase and walked up the stairs to the 2nd floor. The villa had 2 floors, and he preferred the 2nd floor, which had an open view and an outdoor balcony. Since his other roommate hadn't arrived yet, he would move in first. While going upstairs, Xu Jingming finally discovered the villa's only drawback. There was no elevator, and it used wooden handrailed stairs. However, with his current high vital energy of 181 points, carrying a 20-kilogram suitcase upstairs was very easy. On the 2nd floor, Xu Jingming quickly found the bedroom. The bedroom was very large, about 50 square meters, with a large bed in the middle, 2 meters 3 long and 2 meters wide. The bed was already made with fresh bedding. Opposite the bed was a desk, and a computer was placed on the desk. The window was on the side of the desk. Through the window, he could see the flat road below. He and Zhang Xiaoyang had just walked from that direction. Everything in the entire bedroom is brand new. I should have known not to bring so many things. Xu Jingming had a lot of things in his suitcase. Not only changes of clothes, but also small items like toothpaste and toothbrushes. After all his belongings were put away and tidied, it was already half an hour later. Phew, time to eat quickly, then go find mentor Yang Jintian. Xu Jingming checked the time on his phone. It was 1:30 p.m., lunchtime. However, unlike ordinary universities, Modi University had 4 cafeterias, and each cafeteria served food 24 hours a day. So missing mealtime was not an issue at all. Xu Jingming grabbed his student ID and villa key and left the villa. When he came earlier, he had been chatting with Zhang Qiuyang and hadn't paid attention to his surroundings. So, this time he deliberately slowed down and observed the scenery around him. As a top university, Magic City Ability University's campus environment was impeccable. Green lawns lined both sides of the road, with various colorful flowers blooming on them. A faint floral scent drifted in the air. Along the way, pavilions and benches for people to rest were visible everywhere. At this time, Magic City Ability University was in its summer vacation. However, there were still many students in school. Some walked side by side in pairs, while others were alone. And these students all had powerful auras. They were at least first-order or second-order ability user. He even occasionally saw students whose auras were only slightly weaker than Zhang Chaoyang's. As expected of a top university, it truly is a place of hidden talents. Xu Jingming sighed in his heart. In their earlier conversation, he had learned that Zhang Chaoyang was a fifth-order lower-level ability user. Those whose auras were only slightly weaker than his were basically all above fourth order in strength. Chapter 41. Tan Mingyang, the Freshman Competition. Magic City Ability University had 4 cafeterias in total, and Xu Jingming went to the one closest to his dormitory. As soon as he reached the cafeteria entrance, he smelled the aroma of meat. After entering the cafeteria, he discovered that besides ordinary food, the cafeteria actually provided meat dishes made from ferocious beast meat. Although ferocious beasts were thick-skinned and naturally brutal, one could say their entire bodies were treasures. Tough ferocious beast hide was not only an excellent material for making combat suits, but even when made into leather bags, they were luxury items that many wealthy people scrambled to buy. Ferocious beast bones, when ground into powder, were also an excellent medicinal ingredient. As for ferocious beast flesh and blood, long-term consumption could similarly strengthen one's physique. It was precisely because of this that many ability users would form adventurer squads and venture into the wilderness areas to hunt ferocious beasts. Then, they would bring the beast corpses back to the city area and sell them for high prices. In fact, during the martial arts college entrance exam, the ferocious beasts Xu Jingming killed could also have been sold for high prices. But those were the property of the military region, so naturally they could not be taken away. Of course, the dishes made from ferocious beast flesh and blood in this cafeteria were also much more expensive than ordinary dishes. Ordinary dishes only cost 0.001 credits, which meant one portion could be bought for 10 great xia coins. But ferocious beast dishes started at a minimum of 0.1 credits, which was 1,000 great xia coins. Xu Jingming even saw ferocious beast dishes priced at 10 credits, with a value as high as 100,000 great xia coins. Good grief, if you don't have enough credits, you won't even be able to afford a meal. Xu Jingming shook his head, then chose to buy a 0.1 credit ferocious beast dish to try something new. It had to be said that the school chef's cooking skills were very good. The tough ferocious beast flesh was actually cooked so that it melted in the mouth, leaving a lingering fragrance. After more than 10 minutes, having filled his stomach and still feeling a bit unsatisfied, Xu Jingming got up and left the cafeteria. Magic City Ability University, besides providing dormitories for students, also provided accommodation for the teaching staff. Naturally, these were also villas, and they were even more luxurious than the student dormitories. After all, teachers qualified to teach at Magic City Ability University were at least rank 6 ability users. Even in the outside world, they were all extraordinary big shots. And the dean of the weaponry college, Yang Jinqian, lived precisely in building 23 of the faculty villa area. Xu Jingming left the cafeteria and spent another 20-odd minutes arriving at the faculty villa area. Compared to the student dormitory area, the environment here was even better. The villa complex was backed by a large mountain, with a sizable artificial lake in the middle. In addition, scenery like small bridges overflowing water, rockeries, and waterfalls could be seen everywhere. The school actually put a small mountain there just for a background. Can you believe it? Only top universities would be this extravagant. Complaining silently, Xu Jingming easily found villa number 23 according to the map at the entrance of the faculty villa area. This was a villa with a strong, ancient Great Xia style, its outer walls painted the same color as the wooden structure. Some pale green wind chimes hung under the eaves, looking both primitive and very elegant. Xu Jingming went straight to the villa's main gate, and just as he was about to ring the doorbell, a voice with a hint of laughter sounded from behind him. "Are you here to seek a master?" Xu Jingming turned his head. 5 meters behind him to the left stood a young man dressed in white. The young man had delicate features, short hair, and a smile on his face. Different from an ordinary person's smile, the young man's smile seemed a bit unrestrained and cynical. Xu Jingming frowned slightly upon hearing this and did not respond. He didn't even know him, so how did he know his purpose? Seeing this, the young man didn't mind. Seeing Xu Jingming remain unmoved, he continued with a smile. Those who usually come to see Teacher Yang, besides his disciples, are those who want to seek a master. I've seen most of Teacher Yang's students, and you aren't among them, so you can only be here to seek a master. Of course, I'm also here to seek a master. Before the young man could finish speaking, he suddenly noticed that Xu Jingming's aura was a bit off. An awakener. However, He quickly reacted and raised an eyebrow. A special recruit student? Yes. Xu Jingming did not hide it. In fact, even among the special recruit students, he was probably the only one who was merely at the awakener level. And now the application process for the martial arts college entrance exam had just begun, and Magic City Ability University had not yet announced the admission list. He wasn't surprised that the other party guessed he was a special recruit student. In previous years, special recruit students were either upper rank 1 or middle rank 1. I didn't expect there to be an awakener special recruit student this year. The young man clicked his tongue in wonder, but he didn't look down on Xu Jingming because of it. After all, to become a special recruit student of Magic City Ability University at the awakener level, his strength was definitely great. Moreover, his potential was even more terrifying. And you are, senior? Seeing that the other party was a bit familiar, but didn't seem to harbor ill will, Xu Jingming took the initiative to strike up a conversation. Weaponry College, sophomore. No, I should be a junior now. Junior student, Tan Mingyang. Tan Mingyang introduced himself, and then asked in return, and you? Xu Jingming, a freshman, just reported for duty today. Knowing to seek a master right after reporting, Junior Xu, you move very fast. Usually, freshmen only know to seek a master after the freshman competition. Freshman competition? Xu Jingming frowned upon hearing this. Zhang Chaoyang hadn't mentioned this just now. The freshman competition is a tradition of our Magic City Ability University, usually held 3 or 4 days after freshman registration is complete. At that time, most of the school's teachers will go to watch the battles. Freshmen who perform well in the freshman competition will be scrambled for by various colleges, and mentors will personally come forward to take them as disciples. Seeing that Xu Jingming didn't know, Tan Mingyang gave a brief explanation. Of course, for a special recruit student like you, it's true that you don't have to wait for the freshman competition to seek a master. Tan Mingyang did not deny Xu Jingming's approach, but what he didn't say was that even for a special recruit student, the probability of being able to take a dean-level mentor as a master right after entering school was as low as winning the lottery. Most likely, it would just be a wasted trip. However, special recruit students were often the top scorers and geniuses of a certain province or city, and they had pride in their hearts. Even if he spoke this truth, they probably wouldn't listen, so he didn't say it. Thank you for the explanation, senior. Xu Jingming thanked him and asked curiously, is Senior Ten also here to seek Teacher Yang as a master? Yeah. Tan Mingyang nodded and said with emotion, in this past half year, I've already made several trips, but I still can't reach the standard for apprenticeship. I'm almost ready to give up, but I'm still unwilling in my heart. Forget it. Let's not say so much. Let's go in together. Tan Mingyang sighed, then pressed the doorbell at the villa entrance. Before long, the villa door opened, and a middle-aged man who looked like a butler appeared. Welcome, you two. Teacher Yang is already waiting inside. Please follow me. The smile on the butler's face was as warm as a spring breeze. Xu Jingming, who was here for the first time, didn't feel anything unusual, but Tan Mingyang on the side was somewhat overwhelmed by the favor. This wasn't his first time here. In the past, the butler was also very polite, but definitely never this enthusiastic. And listening to the butler's tone, Teacher Yang was actually waiting inside specifically? How is this possible? Rank 7 ability users weren't idling around every day with nothing to do. On the contrary, they were all very busy. Previously, even when Tan Mingyang came to visit, he would often need to wait in the villa for half an hour or an hour before seeing the man himself. But now, that busy dean of the Weaponry College was actually waiting inside in advance. What was the situation? With doubt, Tan Mingyang and Xu Jingming entered the villa together. Chapter 42, Acknowledging a Master. Top-tier cultivation method. Body tempering combat technique. Led by the butler, Xu Jingming and Tan Mingyang entered the villa's living room. As soon as he walked in, Xu Jingming saw 2 people sitting on the living room sofa. The person on the right was a young man who looked to be about the same age as Tan Mingyang. His appearance was rather ordinary, the kind you wouldn't notice unless you looked closely in a crowd. Yet, this young man possessed an extremely sharp aura. Simply sitting there emitted an inexplicable sense of oppression. Sitting beside the young man was a middle-aged man. The man wore a gray martial attire, had a robust physique, and his eyes flashed with lightning-like brilliance. Meeting his gaze, Xu Jingming felt as if he had been targeted by the most supreme dragon-type, ferocious beast, causing all the hairs on his body to stand on end. Compared to this middle-aged man, the aura emanating from the young man next to him seemed faint and indistinct. Xu Jingming, who had previously checked the instructor information via Yi-Hua in the villa, naturally knew. This middle-aged man was the dean of the Weapons Academy, the high-level Tier 7 ability user known as Thunder Spear, Yang Jintian. Dean Yang, I brought them both over. The butler said respectfully. All right, you may leave. Yang Jintian dismissed the butler, then looked directly at Xu Jingming, a smile appearing on his face. You must be Xu Jingming. Zhang Chuyang has already told me about you. Let's go to the training room. Having said that, he stood up and walked toward the second floor. Seeing this, Xu Jingming quickly followed. Tan Mingyang, who had witnessed the entire sequence, stood rooted to the spot, somewhat bewildered. Yang Jintian, the dean of the Weapons Academy, was notoriously strict. The Weapons Academy he governed had the most rules and regulations among the 5 major academies of the Magic City Ability University. Therefore, students privately gave Yang Jintian the nickname King Yamayang, and his habitually stern face perfectly matched this nickname. But just now, he actually saw King Yamayang smile. Moreover, the man seemed to know Xu Jingming and directly took him to the training room. It was clearly an intention to personally evaluate him. What exactly is Xu Jingming's background? Could he be the principal's son? Tan Mingyang quickly dismissed the idea. Even the principal's son probably wouldn't receive this kind of treatment in front of King Yamayang. It might be different if the principal himself came. Junior brother Mingyang, shall we stick to the usual? The remaining young man on the sofa looked over with a cheerful smile. Only then did Tan Mingyang snap back to reality. His expression brightened, and he cupped his fists, saying, "Then I'll trouble senior brother Liu." After speaking, the two walked together toward the ground floor combat room. Aside from accepting disciples on his own initiative, other students who wished to become Yang Jintian's disciples had to demonstrate corresponding strength. And this senior brother Liu was one of Yang Jintian's many students. As long as he could defeat senior brother Liu, who would only use 1/10 of his strength, he would be considered qualified. However, for the better part of the past year, he had never succeeded even once. Meanwhile, led by Yang Jintian, Xu Jingming arrived at the training room. This was a room spanning over 100 square meters, and various weapons were placed on the racks nearby. Among them was the long spear Xu Jingming was familiar with. I've seen your martial arts college entrance exam video. Your combat ability is indeed very strong, and your spearmanship has reached the advanced level. But before that, I would like to see your S-rank ability, Violet Heaven Divine Lightning. Yang Jintian looked at Xu Jingming expectantly. The S-rank lightning type ability, Violet Heaven Divine Lightning. We learned from Zhang Chuyang a few days ago that a student who had awakened an S-rank lightning type ability had chosen Magic City Ability University. He had been waiting for Xu Jingming's arrival. Unexpectedly, the student only registered at the school today. Facing Yang Jintian's request, Xu Jingming didn't hesitate at all and immediately activated his ability. Crackle, crackle. Zzz. Accompanied by muffled thunder and the sound of electric arcs leaping, the Violet Heaven Divine Lightning was summoned and swirled around Xu Jingming. The blue-purple lightning seemed to carry an ancient, vast aura, powerful and archaic. The moment the Violet Heaven Divine Lightning appeared, the entire training room was filled with an inexplicable, magnificent aura. This is the S-rank ability, Violet Heaven Divine Lightning. Yang Jintian gazed intoxicatedly at the blue-purple lightning surrounding Xu Jingming. Although he also possessed a lightning-type ability and was a high-level Tier 7 ability user, even a casual flicker of lightning he used possessed incredible power. Yet his A-rank ability, Wind, Fire, True, Thunder, could never possess such an aura. This was a disparity originating from the ability's source, something that rank alone could not bridge. After several deep breaths, Yang Jintian's excited state of mind gradually calmed down. He looked at Xu Jingming with a serious expression. Xu Jingming, I know your purpose for coming here. With your ability and potential, becoming my disciple is naturally not a problem. However, there's one thing I must state beforehand. During my travels outside, although I made some friends, I also accumulated many enemies. If you become my disciple, you will also be affected by this after graduation. It's even possible that enemies might move against you. Are you still willing? This student is willing. Xu Jingming did not hesitate in the slightest, respectfully performing the ceremony of acknowledging a master. What a joke. Which high-tier ability user's rise wasn't accompanied by bloodshed? An ability user like Yang Jintian, famous for slaughter, had suppressed and killed countless ferocious beasts and enemies. If he couldn't even bear this small risk, then he probably wouldn't find any suitable teacher in the entire Magic City Ability University. Good. Starting today, you are my 32nd disciple. Yang Jintian exclaimed good 3 times in a row, his emotions slightly agitated. S-rank ability awakeners only appear once every few years in the entire Great Xia Nation. Furthermore, there are many types of abilities, so even if an S-rank ability awakener appeared, they would likely be of a different category. Over the past 20 years, he had taken in over 30 disciples, including those with A-rank lightning type and B-rank lightning type abilities. There were even some with C-rank lightning type abilities. But Xu Jingming was the very first with an S-rank, lightning-type ability. Most of your senior brothers and senior sisters have graduated. There are only 3 left at the school. Looming downstairs, just now, is one of your senior brothers. As for the other 2 senior brothers and senior sisters, I will introduce you to them individually when we have time. After speaking, the ring on Yang Jintian's right hand flashed faintly. 2 secret manuals immediately appeared in his hand and were handed over. These are top-tier ability training method and the body-tempering combat technique created by your master. Xu Jingming accepted the 2 secret manuals. The ability training method was called the Extreme Ability Training Method, and the other combat technique was called the Undying Lightning Body. Combat techniques are divided into different categories, such as movement combat techniques and saber combat techniques. For example, Xu Jingming's Lightning Gale Break is a spearmanship combat technique. Body-tempering combat techniques differ from ordinary combat techniques, as they are primarily used to enhance one's physique. Compared to ordinary combat techniques, they are much rarer. Chapter 43, Breakthrough. First rank ability user. The ability cultivation method needs no introduction. It's one of the school's 3 top-tier ability cultivation methods. As for the body-refining combat technique, Thunder Immortal Body, it condenses a lifetime of my own effort. Certified by both Thunder Martial Hall and Berserk Bear Martial Hall, it's rated S-Class. Yang Jintian spoke slowly. Xu Jingming's heart shook at the words. An S-Class combat technique. A 7th rank ability user also bears the title of Grandmaster. Because at this rank, one's comprehension of abilities in martial arts reaches an extremely profound level. They qualify to create their own ability cultivation method or combat technique. Combat techniques are likewise graded, the same as ability ranks. F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS. 9 levels in total. The higher the grade, the mightier the technique. Naturally, the corresponding difficulty of cultivation also skyrockets. Most 7th rank Grandmasters will be pleased to invent an A-Class technique. S-Class and above, SS and SSS, are created only by 8th rank Great Grandmasters or 9th rank Martial Sages. Yet Yang Jintian, merely 7th rank, has produced an S-Class technique. Moreover, among all combat technique categories, body refining is the most intricate, delving into the mysteries of the human body. One has to admit, Yang Jintian's martial talent is terrifyingly high. Thunder Immortal Body suits only lightning-type ability users and has 13 stages. Each breakthrough brings a corresponding transformation of physique. Even I, however, have currently cultivated only to the 10th stage. The final 3 stages remain unverified. Yet I predict that upon reaching the maximum level, the body will achieve true eternal indestructibility. Yang Jintian's eyes blazed. Thunder Immortal Body embodies his complete understanding of martial arts and lightning abilities. If he himself cannot ascend to the pinnacle of martial sage in the future, then Xu Jingming will be his greatest hope for validating this technique. Furthermore, Thunder Immortal Body requires ability user rank to cultivate. For now, use limit ability cultivation method to advance. Once you break through, I'll help you lay the foundation for Thunder Immortal Body. Yang Jintian pondered a moment, then added, you must also practice boxing. Practice boxing? That caught Xu Jingming off guard. Of course. Once you cultivate Thunder Immortal Body, your physique will greatly strengthen. Combined with close combat skills and lightning abilities, your combat power will soar. Besides, weapons are only one of our tools. Don't rely on them excessively. If your weapon is destroyed while fighting a vicious beast, are you going to turn tail and flee? Yang Jintian spoke fluently, giving a real-world example. Back then, I fought the 8th rank beast earth-shaking demon python into the 2nd day. My spear, cast from SSS grade alloy, shattered under prolonged extreme stress. My lightning ability was nearly depleted. On the final day, I relied solely on my body and fists to finish the kill. Yang Jintian's tone was calm, yet Xu Jingming could imagine how brutal that battle had been. He nodded thoughtfully. Indeed, mastering more fighting methods never hurts. Naturally, I'll also teach you spearmanship. Once your boxing and spear skills reach sufficient proficiency, I'll instruct you in saber and longsword as well, Yang Jintian continued. Teacher, may I ask what proficiency level you've reached in these arts? Xu Jingming asked curiously. Boxing and spearmanship are both Grandmaster level. The other weapon skills, saber and sword, are slightly lower at Master level. Yang Jintian's tone was mild, but Xu Jingming couldn't help his heart skipping a beat. Proficiency is divided into 6 tiers. Basic, Intermediate, Advanced, Master, Grandmaster, and Perfection. An ordinary ability user might spend decades just raising a single weapon skill to Advanced. Master level might be unattainable in a lifetime. The higher realms of Grandmaster and Perfection are even more elusive. Yet Yang Jintian has achieved Grandmaster in both boxing and spearmanship, and Master in other weapon skills. I only studied other weapons because my boxing and spear could no longer advance. As for you, it's still early. Seeing Xu Jingming seemingly intimidated, Yang Jintian laughed heartily. During university, focus solely on boxing and spearmanship. Concentrate your combat technique learning on these two. Remember, biting off more than you can chew is unwise. I understand, teacher. Xu Jingming nodded. Although the system panel lets him raise weapon proficiency simply by investing ability points. Weapons aren't valued for quantity, but for mastery. With ability points limited, it's clearly better to specialize in one weapon. As my teacher said, I'll focus on fist techniques and spearmanship first. Xu Jingming silently resolved. Afterward, Yang Jintian handed over another list, recording the combat techniques Xu Jingming would study next. He only needed to visit the library, find the manuals, and learn them. Xu Jingming couldn't help but sigh in admiration. Sure enough, having an instructor's guidance was far superior. Left to himself, he could never have mapped out such a detailed training path. 10 minutes later, a greatly enriched Xu Jingming stepped out of the villa. Yet at the gate, he ran into Tan Mingyang, who had also just left. But the smile was gone from Tan Mingyang's face. Only bitterness remained. It looked as though his attempt to secure a master had failed again. Seeing this, Xu Jingming tactfully refrained from asking. He merely greeted him and prepared to leave. Senior Tan, I'm off. Wait, how did your application go? Did you succeed? As if clutching at a last straw, Tan Mingyang asked. Yet instead of the answer he hoped for, Xu Jingming simply nodded. You actually succeeded? Tan Mingyang's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. Dean-level mentors normally refuse disciples before the freshman tournament. What's going on here? Is he really the principal's son? Doesn't look like him. Watching the departing figure, the repeatedly rejected Tan Mingyang sank into endless self-doubt. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming returned to his villa and headed straight to the second-floor training room. The upper and lower floors of the student villa were identically outfitted. Besides the training room and bedroom, there were a shower, media room, study, and his favorite open-air balcony. Compared with Yang Jintian's training room, this one was a bit smaller, only about 80 square meters. But it was more than adequate for routine training. Xu Jingming sat cross-legged on the floor, opened the Ultimate Ability Cultivation Method, and began to read. Compared with the intermediate Abyssal Sea Ability Cultivation Method, this top-tier Ultimate Ability Cultivation Method was far more profound. It took Xu Jingming more than 4 hours to fully grasp the book. Then, eyes half closed, he began, as instructed, to sense the special energy present between heaven and earth. Moments later, countless white motes appeared within his perception. They were densely packed, as vast as an ocean. That was origin energy. Only by absorbing it into his body could his ability evolve. As expected of a top-tier method, the origin energy I sense is many times greater than with the intermediate one. Xu Jingming's face lit up, and he opened his eyes. Since the top-tier method could sense origin energy, his cultivation was on track. From here, he didn't need to train step by step. He could advance directly by allocating points. Deep blue, a soft call in his mind, and a pale blue system panel appeared in his consciousness. Name, Xu Jingming. Level, Awakener, plus. Ability, Violet Heaven Divine Lightningness. Physique, 186 Blood Chi, plus. Spirit, 187 Hertz, plus. Skills, Spearmanship, Advance plus. Lightning Galebreak, Advance plus. Ability points, 2534. At the point, without hesitation, he tapped the plus sign beside level. The next instant, origin energy in the surrounding air poured into Xu Jingming's body at a terrifying speed, automatically following the path recorded in the Ultimate Ability Cultivation Method, continuously strengthening his ability, physique, and spirit. It only slowed when it broke past a certain boundary. Level, Awakener, first rank lower ability user. I've broken through. Xu Jingming clenched his fist. The power inside him was several times greater than moments before. More importantly, his ability had been enhanced as well. Violet Heaven Divine Lightning. A low shout, and with a sharp crackle of arcs, bluish-violet lightning blossomed around him. Compared with before the breakthrough, the lightning was noticeably thicker and deeper in color. If I met that rank 2 bloodthirsty bear again, my lightning alone could probably kill it without even using my spear. Watching the bluish-violet bolts dance across his fingertips, Xu Jingming nodded in satisfaction. With his successful breakthrough, he had finally taken the first step toward the pinnacle of ability users. Chapter 44. Prepare to exchange. SS-level resources. Xu Jingming tested his strength in the training room. From an awakener to an ability user, his strength had increased by roughly 4 to 5 times. He then opened his system panel. Name, Xu Jingming. Level, First order lower position, plus. Ability, purple firmament divine lightning, S. Physique, 283 chi and blood, plus. Spirit, 289 hertz, plus. Skills, spearmanship, advanced plus. Lightning gale break, advanced plus. Ability points, 2234. Advancing to first order only cost me 300 ability points. The consumption of ability points isn't too much, but the increase in basic attributes is a bit beyond my expectations. Xu Jingming couldn't help but sigh with emotion. If he had used the Abyssal Sea ability cultivation method to break through, his chi and blood and spirit would have increased by at most 30 or 40 points. But with the top-tier ability cultivation method, his two basic attributes had almost increased by more than 100 points. This was undoubtedly a world of difference. No wonder ability user all want higher-level ability cultivation methods. The gap is simply too wide. Xu Jingming couldn't help but shake his head. At the same time, he was also very glad that after obtaining the Abyssal Sea ability cultivation method, he didn't rush to upgrade. I still have a lot of ability points left, but I can't continue to increase my level for now, Xu Jingming thought silently. On one hand, he would still need ability points to learn combat technique later. On the other hand, he also needed to adapt to his strength after advancing. Only after fully adapting would he make further improvements. Then, let's take a look at this S-class body tempering combat technique. Xu Jingming opened the secret manual of Undying Lightning Body and read it in detail. As a 7th order ability user, Yang Jintian had a deep understanding of martial arts and thunder-type ability, and all his understanding was integrated into this body-tempering combat technique. Thus, Xu Jingming, who had just come into contact with this secret manual, quickly became immersed in it. As expected of an S-class battle skill, it is truly exquisite. 2 hours later, Xu Jingming reluctantly closed the secret manual. The Undying Lightning Body has 13 layers in total, but he currently only understood the first 3 layers. As for the content after the first 3 layers, it was too profound, and he couldn't understand it yet. However, even just the content of the first 3 layers opened up a whole new world for him. General body tempering combat technique required different methods to temper the body. After countless trials and tribulations, the body will gradually become stronger. However, this body tempering combat technique has an additional step compared to general body tempering combat technique. Forging a foundation. The first layer of Undying Lightning Body requires the use of the blood of thunder-type fierce beasts to forge the foundation of the Undying Body. Only then does one use one's own thunder-type ability to temper the body. And the final strength of the Undying Lightning Body depends on the blood of the thunder-type fierce beast originally used to forge the foundation. If a foundation is laid with high-level fierce beasts, then the subsequent physical strength will become stronger and stronger. If low-level fierce beasts, or even ordinary fierce beast blood, are used, then the physical strength will be further reduced. The blood of thunder-type fierce beasts, that's a bit troublesome. Xu Jingming stroked his chin. On Blue Star, low-level fierce beasts only rely on their bodies to fight. High-level fierce beasts, however, are like ability user, possessing all sorts of incredible abilities. For example, the famous Silver Moon Nine-Tailed Fox has a charming ability similar to a mental-type ability user. If one doesn't react in time, the only outcome is death. Thunder-type fierce beasts, like Thunder-type ability user, control the power of thunder. However, such fierce beasts are at least 4th order or above. Xu Jingming alone certainly couldn't get the blood of such fierce beasts at present. But fortunately, he had a mentor. Teacher said this afternoon that when I advance to an ability user, I should go to him to forge the foundation. So tomorrow, I'll go directly to him. Early the next morning, Xu Jingming, having finished washing up, found teacher Yang Jintian again. Upon learning that Xu Jingming had already advanced, Yang Jintian was slightly surprised. That fast. In his more than 20 years of teaching at Magic City Ability University, he had seen countless geniuses. But even those geniuses had taken a considerable amount of time to transform from an awakener to an ability user. Yet, Xu Jingming, from receiving the secret manual yesterday to now, had not even spent a full 24 hours. He had actually successfully advanced. Perhaps it's a matter of accumulating strength over time. Xu Jingming smiled modestly. All right, since you have successfully advanced, I will forge the foundation of the Undying Lightning Body for you today. Yang Jintian didn't delve too deeply into it, nodded, and continued. The foundation of the Undying Body I have prepared for you is the essence blood of a 7th order, high-position, thunder-type, fierce beast, the Storm Giant Bear. Yang Jintian's ring shimmered, and a transparent glass bottle appeared out of thin air in his hand. The glass bottle had a capacity of about 800 milliliters, and the crimson blood inside gently swayed, with faint imbi, silver-white, lightning flashing within. High-level Thunder-type fierce beasts are extremely rare. Over the years, the highest-level Thunder-type fierce beast I've killed was this storm giant bear. The school's resource library does have higher-level 8th-order Thunder-type fierce beast blood, but unfortunately, that belongs to SS-class resources. Even I, your teacher, cannot easily exchange for it. Yang Zhentian was a bit helpless. Although he was the dean of the School of Weaponry, he couldn't freely use the school's resources. However, the school would also issue them a large sum of points, similar to academic credits, each year for exchanging resources. But as a 7th-order high-position ability user, his own cultivation expenses were also very high. The points he had were almost all spent, and his account balance simply couldn't exchange for SS-class resources. Of course, the essence blood of a 7th-order high-position storm giant bear was already very rare, belonging to a premium S-level resource, more than enough for building a foundation. He just felt that Xu Jingming was an S-class ability awakener, so he instinctively wanted to use even better essence blood. By the way, I heard Zhang Qiaoyang say that you can receive an S-level resource every year. Yang Zhentian's eyes suddenly lit up as he asked. Although Xu Jingming was a bit puzzled, he still nodded. Very good. Your S-level resource, plus the storm giant bear essence blood I have, might just be enough to exchange for that SS-class resource. However, despite saying so, Yang Zhentian still chose to first seek Xu Jingming's opinion. Jingming, do you have any other uses for your S-level resource? Teacher can dispose of it as he sees fit. Xu Jingming shook his head. Are you kidding? Even if that S-level resource had other uses, the other person had already taken out a premium S-level resource. And the SS-class resource ultimately obtained would still be used on himself. If he still refused, he would truly be a fool. All right, then you wait for me here. I'll be right back. With a flash of lightning, Xu Jingming hadn't even reacted before Yang Zhentian's figure disappeared from where he stood. This movement technique feels almost like teleportation. Xu Jingming praised in his heart. However, he also knew that this was merely an illusion caused by the other party's extremely fast movement speed. Student Xu, the dean will be back shortly. Have some fruit first. Not long after Yang Zhentian left, the butler who opened the door yesterday came up with a plate of fruit. Thank you, old Fu. Xu Jingming thanked him politely. This old Fu was not only the butler of the villa, but had also been through life and death with teacher Yang Zhentian. This was something he heard from the teacher in the training room yesterday. And the other party's strength was also extremely powerful. He was a 6th-order middle position ability user. Therefore, facing this butler, he was also somewhat cautious. Chapter 45, Thunder Tyrant Dragon Blood. Foundation Forged. Xu Jingming had waited in the villa for a little over half an hour when Yang Zhentian finally returned. A flicker of lightning flashed, and Yang Zhentian's figure appeared in the living room. Teacher, Xu Jingming hurriedly stood up. I've exchanged for an SS-grade resource. Come, let's go to the training room. Yang Zhentian looked excited. He couldn't wait to take Xu Jingming to the second-floor training room. It took some effort to trade for the SS-grade resource. The resource department wasn't happy about me swapping 2 S-grade resources for 1 SS-grade. Fortunately, I called the principal, and they finally approved the exchange. Yang Zhentian turned his right hand over, and another glass vial of beast blood appeared. Unlike the previous vial, the blood inside was an unusual silvery white. Tiny arcs of electricity and a savage aura curled within it. This is the SS-grade resource, blood from a lower 8th-rank Thunder Tyrant Dragon. Looking at the vial, Yang Zhentian felt a twinge of emotion. Dragon-type beasts were the worst of all beast tribes to provoke. He could kill a lower 8th-rank earth-shaking devil python above his own rank, but he couldn't slay any lower 8th-rank dragon-type beast. A vial like this was immensely useful even to him. Of course, if it weren't so precious, the Academy wouldn't have classified it as an SS-grade resource. Xu Jingming took in the scene, silently recording the kindness of both his teacher and the principal. A drop of water, given in need, is repaid with a spring. How much more so for an SS-grade resource? When he became powerful one day, he would repay these favors many times over. Take off your shirt and sit cross-legged. Following the order, Xu Jingming pulled off his shirt, revealing a strong upper body, then sat down. The next instant, he felt a chill on his back, followed by a faint stabbing pain. The pain was slight, yet seemed to reach the marrow, making him frown. For a high-rank ability user like me, Thunder Tyrant Dragon Blood is nothing. But for a low-rank ability user like you, it's practically a deadly poison. Even skin contact causes a stabbing sensation. Behind him, Yang Zhentian explained while pouring the blood from the vial onto Xu Jingming's back. At that moment, his eyes blazed with blue-white lightning. He could see every blood vessel and meridian on Xu Jingming's back, letting him apply the blood with extreme precision. A dozen minutes later, the vial was empty. Xu Jingming's entire back was coated in silvery white blood. Next, I'll use my Windfire True Thunder to forge your indestructible body's foundation. Essentially, foundation building is fusing the Thunder Beast's blood into your own. Only then can you gain a physique equal to, or stronger than, that of a beast. But how much blood you can absorb depends entirely on you. Yang Jintian drew a deep breath and roared. Windfire True Thunder. Crackle. A crimson lightning countless times stronger than Xu Jingming's violet heaven divine lightning burst from Yang Jintian. Thunder rolled, and the temperature in the training room seemed to soar because of it. The whole process will take about 4 or 5 days. It'll hurt, bear with it. Most importantly, don't lose consciousness. Otherwise, the absorption efficiency will plummet. The moment he finished, the crimson lightning surged forward and swallowed Xu Jingming whole. Any single bolt that accidentally struck him would have obliterated him on the spot. But with the 7th rank upper ability user's control, that was impossible. The power of the Windfire True Thunder was kept within Xu Jingming's tolerance, entering through his back. Threads of lightning carried the Thunder Tyrant Dragon blood coursing through his body, constantly remolding his blood vessels, meridians, even his bones. To Xu Jingming, it felt like 10,000 ants gnawing at him, pain piercing the marrow. Still, he clenched his teeth and endured without fainting. 5 days later, in Villa number 23. Uncle Fu, it's already the 5th day, right? Still no word from teacher. Another of Yang Jintian's disciples, Lu Ming, sat on the living room sofa asking the steward. It was the 3rd time he'd come recently. Each time, the steward told him Yang Jintian was still forging Xu Jingming's Thunder Indestructible Body Foundation. Not yet. The dean is using 8th rank beast blood to build the foundation for student Xu. It consumes far more energy and takes longer. Steward Uncle Fu replied. Although Yang Jintian couldn't leave, he could still communicate. So Uncle Fu knew the details, including that 8th rank beast blood was being used. Blood of an 8th rank Thunder Tyrant Dragon. Lu Ming had learned of it on his last visit. He couldn't help feeling a little envious. After all, he too was Yang Jintian's disciple. When his own indestructible body foundation had been laid, they'd only used blood from a lower, 7th rank Thunder Beast. But once he heard Xu Jingming possessed an S-grade ability, he accepted it. An S-grade awakener deserved their teacher's utmost effort. 8th rank Dragon-type beast blood, combined with S-grade Thunder ability. I'm really looking forward to Junior Brother Su's Thunder Indestructible Body. As an S-grade body tempering combat technique, Thunder Indestructible Body wasn't fixed in power. On the contrary, it depended heavily on the blood used for the foundation and the ability user's own Thunder ability. 8th rank beast blood plus an S-grade ability was obviously a devastating combo. Roar! Suddenly, a roar like that of a dragon-type beast exploded inside the villa. The sound brimmed with majesty and savagery. Merely hearing it made one feel as if a mighty, ferocious dragon-type beast stood before them. Junior Brother's foundation is complete. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Lightning flashed as he activated a movement combat technique and shot to the 2nd floor. When he reached the training room door, the first thing he sensed was the menace of a top-tier beast. That threat made even a 3rd rank peak ability user like him feel a pang of dread. Then he saw the source of that threat. In the center of the training room stood Xu Jingming, straight and tall. Yet unlike the modest, polite youth of their last meeting, Xu Jingming now radiated savagery. His once clear eyes were blood red, and thick veins bulged across his bare, powerful torso, as if influenced by its master. The violent blue-violet lightning around him raged in a frenzy of sparks and jumps. The entire training room flickered in time with the lightning dancing about Xu Jingming. Chapter 46 Perfect Match. A further surge in chi and blood. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Facing this scene, Yang Jintian, who was in front of Xu Jingming, had an excited expression. 98%. Jingming's blood essence absorption rate actually reached 98%. 98%. That high. Lu Ming, standing at the training room entrance, couldn't help but feel his heart skip a beat when he heard this. The foundation of the indestructible Thunder Body requires absorbing the blood essence of lightning-type fierce beasts. But it is, after all, fierce beast blood essence. Even with the assistance of the teacher's Windfire True Thunder throughout the process, the absorption efficiency cannot reach 100%. Generally speaking, reaching 90% is already a very good absorption rate. And as far as he knew, among the more than 20 disciples who had cultivated the indestructible Thunder Body under the teacher, the highest absorption efficiency was only 92%. His own absorption efficiency back then didn't even reach 90%, only 87%. Now, Xu Jingming's record-breaking 98% blood essence absorption efficiency indicates that this fierce beast's blood essence is extremely compatible with him. Xu Jingming wasn't clear what others were thinking, but the moment the foundation of the indestructible thunder body was successfully formed, he felt an endless surge of negative emotions like bloodlust and brutality erupt from the depths of his heart. He had an impulse to destroy everything around him. It was at this moment that Yang Jintian's deep voice boomed in his ear. "Jingming, wake up!" This voice, like a spring thunder, was vast and righteous, instantly dispelling all the negative emotions in Xu Jingming's heart. "Teacher, what just happened to me?" Xu Jingming's eyes gradually regained clarity, his expression bewildered. This kind of emotional loss of control had never happened before he cultivated the indestructible thunder body. That should have been the blood essence of the thunder Tyrannosaurus affecting your mind just now. Yang Jintian frowned slightly. The thunder Tyrannosaurus is notoriously brutal among fierce beast groups. You absorbed its blood essence and achieved an astonishing 98% absorption efficiency. It might be because of such a high compatibility that there's this kind of side effect. Before this, disciples cultivating the indestructible thunder body would more or less be affected by some of the fierce beast's bloodline. But no one's change had ever been as obvious as Xu Jingming's. But you don't need to worry too much. As long as your emotions don't fluctuate violently, these negative emotions won't be triggered. Also, as your strength increases, these side effects will gradually disappear. Yang Jintian added. These had all been verified on himself and the other disciples. That's good. Xu Jingming finally breathed a sigh of relief. He certainly didn't want to be someone constantly controlled by emotions. Moreover, he could feel that his physique had undergone an unprecedented transformation. Even if there were some side effects, they wouldn't have a significant impact. Subconsciously, Xu Jingming opened his system panel. Name: Xu Jingming. Level: first tier lower, plus. Ability: Purple Cloud Divine Thunderous. Physique: 391 blood chi, plus. Spirit: 289 Hz, plus. Skills: Spear Technique, Advanced plus. Lightning Gale Break, Advanced plus. Body Tempering: Indestructible Thunder Body, First Stage plus. Ability points: 2234. My blood chi directly increased by over 100 points. Xu Jingming's eyes lit up slightly. For ability users, besides the increase in blood chi value during advancement, normal physical training could only increase blood chi by 2 or 3 points. However, he, who had already gained over 100 points of blood chi from advancing a few days ago, saw his blood chi value surge by another 100 points. Of course, blood chi value is only one quantified representation of physical strength. As for other aspects like physical defense and wound recovery speed, they cannot be seen from blood chi. However, he had a feeling. In his current state, he could probably fight a second-tier fierce beast head-on with just his physical strength, without using any combat techniques or abilities. In addition, he also noticed that a body tempering section had been added to the system panel. It seems I can also use ability points to directly enhance my body tempering strength in the future. Xu Jingming was secretly delighted. Congratulations, junior brother, on successfully forming the foundation of the indestructible thunder body. Your future in martial arts is boundless. At this moment, Lu Ming also walked over from the doorway, congratulating him with a smile. This is your senior brother Lu Ming. You met him when he came over last time. Yang Jintian introduced him at the opportune moment. Hello, senior brother Lu. Xu Jingming put on his shirt and respectfully greeted him. When I saw you last time, junior brother wasn't a student of the teacher yet. This meeting is different, but I didn't prepare anything. So what's your student ID? I'll transfer some credits to you as a welcoming gift from your senior brother. Lu Ming had a gentle personality and immediately offered a welcoming gift. Seeing that Yang Jintian didn't stop him and even nodded slightly, Xu Jingming told him his student ID. Soon, his phone received a notification that 200 credits had been added to his student account. That much? Looking at the text message on his phone, Xu Jingming was slightly stunned. 200 credits, which is 2 million great Xia coins. Was a welcoming gift alone so valuable? Only 200 credits. That's not much for your senior brother Lu, Yang Jintian said with a chuckle. Senior brothers should take good care of their junior brothers. When you have junior brothers and sisters, you should also prepare welcoming gifts. Student understands. Xu Jingming nodded, indicating he understood. The foundation has been successfully formed. You haven't eaten or drunk for 5 days, so you must be tired. Go back and rest first. Come back tomorrow morning and learn fist techniques and spear techniques with your senior brother Lu. Yang Jintian then waved his hand, a hint of fatigue in his brows. Not eating or drinking for 5 days was nothing to him, a 7th-tier ability user. but continuously controlling his ability with extreme precision for 5 days to transform Xu Jingming's body was extremely exhausting. Asking Xu Jingming to rest, he himself actually needed rest more. Xu Jingming naturally saw this, so he didn't disturb him further. After respectfully excusing himself, he left the villa. June 22nd. I didn't expect forming the foundation to take almost 5 days and 5 nights. Outside the villa, Xu Jingming, looking at the date on his phone, couldn't help but sigh with emotion. For these 5 days and 5 nights, he had endured inhuman pain and also needed to maintain consciousness at all times. Fortunately, he persevered and ultimately achieved a 98% blood essence absorption rate, a nearly perfect compatibility. It's still early, so I can go to the martial arts hall to test the physical strength of my indestructible body. The blood essence of an 8th-tier lower thunder Tyrannosaurus was an SS-grade resource. With Yang Jintian's help, most of this blood essence integrated into Xu Jingming's body, becoming a part of him. The astonishing energy contained in the blood essence made Xu Jingming, who hadn't eaten anything for 5 consecutive days, not only not feel hungry, but rather, he was full of energy and radiant. So he was eager to verify how much his strength had increased after acquiring the indestructible thunder body. Chapter 47. Chatty Roommate. Girl outside the dormitory. Every student dormitory at Magic City Ability University is equipped with a training room. However, this training room is not very large, and it doesn't have testing equipment like a punching power tester. It can only be used for daily training. To accurately know the power of one's abilities and combat technique, or even punching speed and power, one needs to go to a martial hall. Within the Magic City Ability University campus, there are 2 martial halls, precisely the most famous Thunder Dojo and Violent Bear Martial Hall in Great Xi'an Nation. When Xu Jingming was in Jiangsheng, he often went to the Thunder Dojo. This time, he also planned to go to the Thunder Dojo to test his strength, but just as he was walking in that direction, he vaguely smelled a faint odor. Xu Jingming then realized that due to the shaping of his undying lightning body, his body had expelled many impurities that adhered to his skin. Forget it. I'll go back to the dormitory to take a shower first, then go to the martial hall. Xu Jingming didn't want to be a source of odor pollution, so he turned around and walked towards the student dormitories. As he got closer to the student dormitories, Xu Jingming saw more and more people along the way. When he stepped into the freshman villa area, this phenomenon became even more obvious. The previously deserted road now had many male and female students walking on it. Some were couples, but most were groups of male students or female students together. They looked to be about the same age as Xu Jingming, around 18 or 19. Many students were curiously looking around like curious babies, and there were even students accompanied by their parents, dragging suitcases. Are these all freshmen? Xu Jingming then remembered that 6 days had passed since he reported to Magic City Ability University. By this time, the Martial Arts College entrance exams volunteer applications had already been completed, and admission notices had been sent to all students. However, perhaps only a top-tier university like Magic City Ability University would have so many freshmen choosing to enroll early. Students who can get into Magic City Ability University are considered geniuses in their provinces and cities. They naturally understand the principle of one step fast, every step fast. Reporting early allows them to be the first to enjoy Magic City Ability University's high-quality educational resources and facilities. They naturally wouldn't be foolish enough to wait until September to report. Xu Jingming's villa is located at number 32 in Student Dormitory Area 3. When he walked to the villa's entrance, he found that the main door, which he had closed before leaving, was wide open. It seems my roommate has arrived. Xu Jingming walked into the villa with a smile. Sure enough, he saw a male student sitting on the sofa in the living room on the first floor, using the AI, Eva, to look up information. Noticing someone entering the villa, the male student turned his head. Upon seeing Xu Jingming walk in, his eyes lit up. He hurriedly stood up from the sofa, ran to Xu Jingming, and generously extended his right hand. You must be my roommate. Hello, I'm Lu Wintao. It's a pleasure to meet you. Lu Wintao had a handsome appearance, slightly tanned skin, and a choppy fringe haircut. At this moment, a smile played on his lips, giving people a first impression of being sunny and cheerful. Xu Jingming. Xu Jingming also smiled and shook hands with Lu Wintao. Xu Jingming, you're the provincial champion of Jiangnan Province. Upon hearing Xu Jingming's name, Lu Wintao instinctively exclaimed in a low voice. You know me? Xu Jingming looked at him in confusion. This should be their first meeting. Of course. My nickname is Know-It-All. Lu Wintao proudly puffed out his chest. I know the information of most of the freshmen in this batch. However, I didn't specifically collect your information. It's purely because the stir you caused at the time was simply too big. After all, you were the biggest dark horse in Jiangnan Province this year. Lu Wintao chuckled. He was naturally sensitive to information. After seeing Xu Jingming's information online back then, he silently recorded it in his mind. It was only after there was no more news about Xu Jingming online for a period that he stopped paying attention. He never expected that the other party also applied to Magic City Ability University and became his roommate. By the way, are you really from the impoverished Jiangxing in Jiangnan province? Or do you live in another economically developed city and just took the college entrance exam in Jiangxing? Also, were you really an awakener during the college entrance exam? And your ability doesn't look like it's only E rank. Lu Wentao was very outgoing. He had just met Xu Jingming and was already putting his arm around his shoulder. And like a machine gun, he fired a series of questions. Xu Jingming, far from minding, had a smile on his face. In his previous life, he was born in an orphanage. When he was in primary school, it was fine. He had many friends to accompany him. But after entering middle school, he had to leave the orphanage and live alone. At that time, what he hated most every day was coming home from school. Because he was the only one at home, he could only turn on the TV and pretend someone was there. It got a little better when he went to high school and could live in a dormitory, but weekends were still lonely. He preferred the feeling of liveliness, so he studied hard and got into university. Joking around and playing games with his roommates every day was the happiest time of his life. But after 4 years, he would again face the outcome of being alone. So, with his efforts, he got into a master's program, once again having several roommates. Later, he got into a doctoral program, gaining a lively group of senior brothers and sisters. And then, at his doctoral graduation dinner, he had a little too much to drink. When he woke up, he had transmigrated to this world. And tragically, he was still an orphan. Although his aunt would occasionally visit him, loneliness remained his main theme. Therefore, whether in his past life or this life, Xu Jingming was quite averse to loneliness. Seeing Lu Wentao's talkative demeanor at this moment, he actually liked it more. So, Xu Jingming sat on the sofa and chatted with Lu Wentao. During their conversation, Xu Jingming also learned that Lu Wentao came from Sichuan province, known as the Land of Abundance. He possessed an A-rank mental ability, had a strength of first-order intermediate, and his martial arts college entrance exam score was among the top 20 in Sichuan province. His application to Magic City Ability University was also aimed at the Tactics Academy, one of the 5 major academies. In his words, in the future, he would command 1,000,000 troops to slaughter all the fierce beasts on Blue Star. And when Lu Wentao learned that Xu Jingming was truly only an awakener during the college entrance exam, he couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. All right, enough talk. I'm going to Marshall Hall in a bit. After chatting for a while, seeing that it was almost time, Xu Jingming stood up from the sofa. Marshall Hall? I'm going too. Lu Wentao was equally excited. I haven't been to Magic City Ability University's Marshall Hall yet. Okay, then after I shower, we'll go together. Xu Jingming nodded and walked straight up to the second floor. 10 minutes later, a refreshed Xu Jingming, having changed into clean clothes, walked out of the villa with Lu Wentao. It was a little past 11 in the morning, the sun was bright outside, and there were many freshmen walking on the road. Xu Jingming and Lu Wentao walked together towards the exit of the dormitory area. As usual, Xu Jingming walked straight, looking neither left nor right. Lu Wentao, on the other hand, was looking around, his gaze wandering over the freshmen on the road. Occasionally, he would linger a bit longer on some pretty female students, revealing a slightly lewd smile. Aiming, look over there. There's a big beauty. After walking for a short while, Lu Wentao, suddenly his eyes lit up, and he excitedly patted Xu Jingming's shoulder. Xu Jingming subconsciously followed Lu Wentao's gaze. He saw 2 girls walking out of villa about 10 meters ahead. The 2 girls were about the same height, around 1.67 meters. The one on the left was slightly shorter and looked pretty good, but not stunning. But the other girl was different. Her face was delicate and charming, with willow-like brows and cherry lips, truly a beauty. Her skin was incredibly fair, as tender as a baby's. Even more eye-catching was her figure. She wore a simple white t-shirt, but her chest was proudly full. Below, she wore light blue skinny jeans,